Guess business isn't intelligent like or wear regular hoodies. But
And would it be the same as taking one step back and shooting a three as opposed to shooting a two? Is it that logical, Mars?
it really is that level of common sense that it would be just to give me a PC hoodie. But I guess no, we taking spot up middies with me wearing regular hoodies right now. That's what's
Trust the
happening.
process, Mars. Trust the process.
It's really that simple, though. It really is. I don't know how much simpler it could be than a nephew Bama. Don't start it this morning, nephew. Don't start it this morning, okay? Tell Bama don't start it.
If you want a PC hoodie, you see playerschoicemerch.com right down there at the bottom. You can actually see the hoodie. You see beanies. You see shirts. We got some stuff in the pipeline on the way. I would love to spill all the beans and all of that good stuff, but you guys will see it when you see it. Yo, Slim, what's going on today? How you feeling today?
See, not much. I'm feeling good. I volunteer coach at a high school, and I was supposed to go in today for workouts, and I slept through 4 alarms. So,
oh,
yeah.
Come on, coach. What you doing?
Set a good example for the kids. It's just not.
What's the deal?
Our coach. I know it's bad too because it's high school, so you got kids that are sleeping through stuff and they show up late and they got to run. And I woke up this morning and told him I'm really sorry, y'all. Like I slept through, and he just sent me this. It's a roving alarm clock. He's like, you should get one of those.
Come on, coach.
Oh, man.
Come on, coach.
Well, we're glad that you're here. We're glad you didn't sleep through your PC alarm. And we're glad everybody else in the chat is here. Y'all see the title of the show. Apparently, we're done with today's generation. Apparently, the players are overrated. The teams are overrated. The generation is just cooked in general. So we're going to figure out exactly why that may be the case. Or if it's not the case. Slim, we are just getting you up here amidst this whole we done with the 90s thing. And I got to know your perspective. Are you done with the 90s?
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Here's my thing. And this isn't like the clickbaity take. You can't compare eras. And it's like everyone says it, and I think it's the boring answer, but it's the right answer, and no one wants to hear it because it kills the conversation. Is that honestly, basketball will always just be getting better. It's the truth. I'm not denying that basketball today is better than basketball in the 90s or in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s. Like, you can just watch. It doesn't take a genius. It doesn't take someone with a basketball PhD to be able to see that. But everyone wants to compare, obviously all the Jordan left hand talk. I saw that. I saw some interesting evidence, but nothing conclusive at the end of the day. Like, people, I know Anthony, I think Chill, you did a video on it on TikTok. He statted one game and really kept track of where Jordan likes to go when he's on the floor. And he went right a lot. And does that mean he doesn't have a left hand? No, but it just means he went right a lot in this specific game. There are probably other games where he did more or less, but pick a random game, you stat it. That's a good way to, at least find some base level generalized take. But personally, I think it's dumb. You look at eras in general, and Wilt scored a lot, but take context into it. No 3 seconds in the paint, and way more possessions in a basketball game than there have ever been. And it's crazy that possessions are rising again, but you look back at you watch old film. There's no half court offense. They're just running up and down the floor, pitch that John ahead. We're taking the first good set shot that we get or whatever. But I mean, I just think basketball is such an evolving sport. It's really tough to compare eras. And it's also tough to say, if MJ was in the league today with how dominant the 3-point shot is, you're telling me with that work ethic, he wouldn't have figured out how to shoot the 3-ball more consistently. It's just the way the game was.
No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't.
You don't think so?
He wouldn't be able to. Not only would he not be able to do that consistently, his weekend, he wouldn't be able to develop that consistently. He wouldn't be a better passer considering how wide open.
You're being sarcastic.
How wide open the game is. He wouldn't be.
I was going to say, I respected you.
He wouldn't be able to figure the game out considering how wide open the game is. He wouldn't be able to figure that out. Nope. All of that stuff. The game is far more advanced today for Jordan, and he would not work on it. No way, he wouldn't. He would be a lower level. He would be a lesser version of Jaylen Brown today.
which is insane to say.
It's
that's an all-star.
Yeah, I mean, and it's because I'm not gonna say the greatest because I truly believe that LeBron is the greatest player of all time, and I don't like LeBron. But like it's between those two, and you bring in Kareem as a dark horse, and some people have some other guy to bring in there, but it's just because he's Mike. Like that's it. If he's any other player, no one cares. Sorry.
Well, two things. Number one, yeah, we can compare errors. The reason why we compare errors because players compare errors. So as good as Dominique Wilkins is, I'm pretty sure Elgin Baylor saw Dominique Wilkins and said to himself, "Yo, he can't do nothing with me. When I was his age, I would have bust his ass." I'm sure of that. I'm sure that Chamberlain saw a 22-year-old Shaq and thought to himself, "Man, I wish I was 22. I would have bust Shaq ass." I'm sure of that. I'm sure that as much as Kobe Bryant loves Jerry West, at some point he told Jerry West, "Jerry, I would have bust your ass." I'm sure he told him that. So, and I'm sure Jerry West said, "Man, you couldn't do nothing with me. Nothing. As good as Kobe Bryant is." So, yes, we can compare errors because these guys do it off the strength of those guys being competitive. Because we do it today. How many times have you seen guys see other guys and go, "Yo, I could take him. I could take that guy." So, of course, we can compare errors. But the idea of us getting rid of the errors, I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah,
it doesn't, and it never has, and it never will. But the thing that I wanted to discuss this morning, and I saw it online. What happens if the Dallas Mavericks miss the playoffs this year for the second straight year? How are we talking about Luka?
Here's the thing. I don't care about the Luka talk, and I mean we can address that as well, but I see this season as a win-win because we filled the biggest gap in our roster. And you know me, I'm not a Jason Kidd guy. Right. We're either good or Jason Kidd gets fired. Win-win. Right. Next year is going to be better. That's my mindset right now. And like literally last year, before we were even like, for sure out of the playoffs, just after watching that team play basketball, I was like, I hope we lose every game. And actually, I had a friend describe why the Mavericks are not successful to me in a great way. He's a hooper. He's 5'7", played overseas and just understands the game at a really high level. And he said the Mavericks don't have an identity. They are trying to somewhat adopt this D'Antoni style of basketball, but they're not really playing it. Mm-hmm. They're kind of half in, half out. And in the D'Antoni 7-second offense, it wasn't built to just shoot a lot of threes. It was built to get paint touches as quickly as possible. And that's why the Spain pick and roll was so deadly with Steve Nash in that gang. Right. But like Kidd is in this what's what I'm looking for? Like purgatory, like limbo type land with this team where he came in as a defensive guy. He found out pretty quickly that we can't be a grit and grind, slow team, picked up the pace this year. And now it's just like this weird muddling of let's try to get a switch as quickly as possible and let Luka or Kyrie isolate as quickly as possible. Right. And it's not working. And it's weird because you see stretches like for people that watch a lot of Mavs basketball, you see stretches where we run actions and we're getting the ball to our players that can make plays in like advantageous situations. Like we played who was it? It may have been the Pistons, but the amount of zooms that Luka came off of, if you don't know what a zoom is, it's when you have two guys on the wing, one in the corner, one on the wing, and then the top guy down screens for the bottom guy, and he comes off that screen for a dribble handoff with the big at the top of the key. That is getting you downhill. Luka is now touching the ball for the first time in the possession, downhill with a guy on his back already. And we know how deadly Luka is with the ball on his hip. Right. Or sorry, with the defender on his hip. So, and I realize he's a great isolation scorer, but if you can run that action in about just as much time that it takes to get a switch, and that's a tough action to blow up, and that's one example. Like why is that not happening more? Why are we not getting them the ball, even just to get Luka a touch? We got a sideline inbounds play that we get Luka a touch in the pinch post at the free throw line. That's a great place for him to catch, even if you just want him to isolate. He's not having to waste energy and just essentially take more time to do busy work around the 3-point line and then get to his spot. It's like, no, he's already catching at 15 feet. So
and
why is that not happening?
And that's
It's
a good
great
spot for him to create too. And that's a good spot for him to create for other people too, as opposed to him just in addition to him going to the basket or getting the shot. That's also a great spot for him to create. But when I look at the Dallas Mavericks, I'm on record saying that I just feel like with Luka, how much he has to do, not just how much he has to do, Jason Kidd's philosophy defensively, considering we're talking about a 9-time All-League defender, not 9-time, I'm sorry, 6-time All-League defender in Jason Kidd, and the fact that he would be preaching defense, he has the personnel to do it. Why aren't they better? What are the schemes? I think that they switch a lot more than they should. I think that they leave Luka. I think they switch a lot more than they should. I feel like they leave Luka out on an island more than they should. They can't protect him as much. They don't protect him. Let me rephrase that. They don't protect him as much as they should. And that's a big problem for the Dallas Mavericks. Then you go to the offensive side of the basketball where he's able to rest from time to time when he gets Kyrie Irving the ball. But Kyrie Irving isn't one of those kind of players who plays off the ball. And when I say play off the ball, I mean plays off the ball where he doesn't touch it. Kyrie Irving is one of those guys who plays off the ball but needs the ball. Yeah, that's why he was so effective with James. And
you got to
James
get
was
him
really good.
Driving closeouts for sure.
Yes, and James was really good at involving him constantly in the game. A guy like Kyrie Irving, he can't play off the ball and not touch the ball for 2 or 3 trips. That's bad for rhythm for him, right? Guys like Tim Hardaway Jr. I don't know how many times Mars and I did one of their games. One of the things that makes me nuts more than anything is guys missing wide open shots. Oh, that makes me nuts. I can handle a lot of stuff. I can't handle a guy missing a wide open look. Wide open from 20 feet, wide open from 22 feet, because you don't get a lot of wide open shots. And the amount of wide open shots that Tim Hardaway gets, he should be converting more on those. And I think that stagnates your offense.
He's a big part.
He's gonna get open shots. Like you're playing next to Luka and Kyrie. Like just playing next to one of those two dudes, you're gonna get open shots. But playing next to both of them, like open shots are gonna come Tim Hardaway's way. I mean, he's very Max Strus-like.
He's in a slump right now.
He's going.
He's just trash. He's just trash.
No, he's not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Slim, how long? I mean, how long is this slump going on? I mean, we're talking about a guy who gets wide open looks.
I mean, it's only been going on for like a month. I mean, do we forget that Tim Hardaway Jr. was leading the league in Sixth Man of the Year odds about I think before the All-Star break or like right before?
That was ever a thing.
It was. I promise it was.
The Sixth Man of the Year award is just
I looked it up.
The most points off the bench.
Okay, so still, I mean, is the guy who scores the most points off the who was scoring the most points off the bench in the NBA? Is he trash?
Yes. If it's Tim Hardaway Jr. Yes.
No, I mean, look, I have a love-hate relationship with guys like Tim, and they're all across the league. Like Bogdanovich, Bogey in Atlanta. He shoots more threes a game than Tim does, but he's converting right now. But the thing is, when you have a high volume guy like that is a bit of a specialist, because Tim's not just a 3-point specialist. He's a shooter. He's gonna run in transition. He's not a great defender, but you can watch him defend and see that the effort is there, which you can't say the same for all, just offensive guys. But like Tim, Mavs fans act like Tim Hardaway Jr. never even it happened this year, and they act like he's never made a shot before in his life. Like, I want to look up his numbers right now because I guarantee you, even with this slump, he's still shooting like 36, 37 from 3. I guarantee.
What is he shooting on wide open shots is my question. That's the $1 million question. For what he's shooting for the season doesn't equate to what he's shooting on wide open looks. Because that's what bothers me. That's what bothers me with Tim Hardaway the most. Plus, when we talk about the Dallas Mavericks, what is your identity as a matter of fact? When we talk about, is it get the ball to Luka and let Luka create for other people? Is that your identity? Because when you get to the playoffs, as good as Luka is, those 38 right, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. We have to get we got to get more movement. And the reason why we need to get more movement is to get the defense off balance. If we got one guy pounding the basketball and creating offense for everybody else, we've seen this movie before, and it doesn't end well. It just does not end well.
Remember, this has been the knock on Luka since forever.
That's we've
always said, like, yeah, Luka is a baller. But Luka is great. But can another superstar come and play with him? And as a matter of fact, yes, Kyrie can play next to Luka, but Kyrie actually he expands the problems. He makes it even worse. He multiplies them because he plays the same style of basketball as Luka. Give me the ball, everybody get out the way because I'm that nice with the rock.
Well, no, Ron, because Luka actually Luka gets the basketball and he does create offense for other people. He's a better distributor than Kyrie Irving. He's a more willing passer than Kyrie Irving is. Kyrie Irving is a bucket getter. Irv will pass, but he's not the willing passer that Luka is. And because he's not the willing passer that Luka is, it's less difficult to load up on Luka than it is on Kyrie. Because we know more times than not when he's going, he's trying to get to the bucket and score. He will get off the field.
That's what I'm saying. It stagnates the offense with both of them because you have two similar guys that they both want to put their head down and go.
I think it boils down to coaching at the end of the day, because you look at what the Mavericks did with Rick Carlisle as their head coach. Number one offense in NBA history until Rick Carlisle did it again this year with the Pacers. So
that's not a coincidence.
It's not. I think Rick Carlisle is a genius. And I think that a big problem with a lot of NBA coaches is that they're pushovers. You know, I think that when you're a grown man coaching other grown men, it takes a special type of guy. And I think there's probably only 4 or 5 of them in the league to like tell another grown man that's a superstar in the league. Superstar. Sorry, I don't want to say superstar. Mars is going to be like, oh, he's talking about Steve
That's
Kerr
fine.
I understand.
Darvin Ham.
No,
you're good. Like coaching like an incredible basketball player, a top 50 basketball player in the world, and tell them, hey, you need to play this way. Well, if I'm a top 50 basketball player in the world, you know, I get it. You're saying, okay, convince me, you know, but to, I guess, have the gusto to at least bring something forth that makes a player step outside of themselves. Look at what Pop did. I mean, I love this one clip. It's such a coach clip, but Pop calls Manu off the bench to go check in for someone and then says, oh, you know what? Like, never mind. Go sit down. I remember when I was younger, I saw that clip and I didn't understand what the big deal was. I'm like, he told this player to get up to go check in and then told him to go sit back down. I mean, and now I'm realizing NBA players have big egos. I mean, it's the only sport. It's the most exclusive pro sport club in the world. There's only a handful. There's only a handful of NBA players in the world. And think about that compared to, you know, the other biggest sport in America, football, where you wear helmets. So each individual player is a brand. So they have these egos. And I mean, a coach to be able to tell another grown man with a big ego. I mean, he told Manu Ginobili this is a Hall of Famer, to said, hey, come get up. Actually, no, go sit down. Like there's respect there.
To be honest with you, because as a player, I can't check myself in the game. So I don't think that's.
But you're telling me.
I think it's more of a money situation more than anything, because these guys have these substantial contracts. They got incentives in their contract, and these guys have to play a certain way. They got to play a certain amount of minutes. So a lot of this stuff is out of the coach's hands. Do you think that Doc Rivers would not put Damian Lillard on the bench if he could on the regular if Damian Lillard missed an assignment? Only except this isn't college, and Damian Lillard is on the books for $47 million. So I can't sit Damian Lillard.
Business side as well.
And it's a bunch of people in the arena who came to watch Damian Lillard play, not realizing that Damian Lillard twice in a row has missed a defensive assignment and his ass needs to be sitting on the bench. That's what really needs to happen. But I can't do that because the owners know what these people are here for. They know who they're here to see. So I can't do that. So the idea of these coaches being pushovers, a lot of this stuff is out of their hands more than it is anything.
Yeah, but like at the end of the day, like, okay, you're doing that because there's pressure from ownership and the fans and everything. But like winning solves everything.
It does.
If you're like, if you can eat a little ish and like take that hit of like, yeah, I know I benched him, like whatever, like ownership's, you know, calling you out, press conference, they're calling you out.
Right.
And then, but like that leads him to stop missing defensive assignments and you start winning, it fixes everything. And I think that's how these guys are born. They're willing to take a chance. They're willing to tell a star player, hey, you got to do this my way. And essentially it's not like a strong arming thing. It's like, can you be the personable guy, but yet, you know, the strong leader that these guys need to be able to get them to buy in and say, hey, look, maybe the answer is even like, I know you don't want to do this, but like, I mean, and maybe I'll get fired for telling a star player this, like say I'm Steve Kerr and Steph Curry. Like, hey, I know you don't want to like have to be locked in on D all the time. I know you don't want to do this, but like, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. If you got a problem with me, maybe I'll get fired at the end of the season, but like, you might as well just try and buy in and see what happens. But I don't think there's enough of that. I don't think there's enough of that in the league. I think a lot of coaches, you know, just put a little too much trust in their players. And I don't care if they're superstars. I don't care if it's Luka, Shea, Giannis, whatever. It's your job to help make their job easier. And sometimes you have to convince them to let them do that. But when you don't try, then nothing's going to change. But
Yo, Mars. And as of right now, the Mavericks are 8th in the West. They're 37-28. The Lakers are 36-30. So the Lakers are a game and a half behind them. The Kings are 36-27, which they're actually tied right now in the rankings. Let me go ahead and just put it on the screen for you guys to see. But Mars, I want to ask, do you think the Dallas Mavericks have any hope in the playoffs of doing something spectacular?
What, like winning a title?
I would just say winning a series.
What is Ron? When you say spectacular, what do you mean spectacular?
Is spectacular relative to the
I
Mavericks?
should have said spectacular.
Yeah.
Making a run. Do they have a chance of getting to the second round? God forbid the Western Conference Finals.
They're a game back of the 6th seed. If they played the Timberwolves, I think they'd beat them.
Okay.
So
I don't like the way the Timberwolves match up against us, honestly. Is this all?
Why do you think they beat Minnesota, Mars? Where do you think the hole is in Minnesota for Dallas to take advantage of the most?
Could I not just say Cat's injury?
You could say that.
Would that be a answer?
Is that enough? Is that enough considering this unit with the Dallas Mavericks?
Yeah, I think with how inept I view Rudy Gobert to be offensively, you lose Cat, and then I don't think Anthony Edwards is the level of playmaker yet to where you really give up too many advantages if you really go at Ant in terms of traps and doubles and forcing him to make decisions. I don't think the T-Wolves offense is going to be great without Cat in the playoffs, to be honest.
Right.
And then Dallas, I just think Luka's pretty good at basketball. So
you love Luka, Mars. You love Luka, bro.
Luka is pretty good at basketball.
I mean, I've been called a Luka hater, so now being so
that's crazy. That hasn't been my experience. I mean, usually someone will bring up someone Luka.
I just call it how I see it. I mean, I think Luka's a great basketball player. You got the Timberwolves who probably would start with a guy like Jaden McDaniels on him, but the way Luka's able to manipulate his matchups and get basically whoever he wants guarding him. I don't know if the Timberwolves,
and this isn't me calling switchable defenders.
Yeah, but this isn't me calling Rudy. This isn't me calling Rudy Gobert a liability, right? But it would be a lot of pre-switching that would have to happen. But you can counter pre-switching. So I'm just not.
How can you counter pre-switching, Mars?
Well, let's assume that Rudy would guard the weakest offensive player for Dallas. So
that
would be Josh Green, or they're big, or Derek Lively, whoever.
Right.
If you just, instead of Derek Lively run into the lane, you keep him high when Luka's bringing the ball up. So Rudy either has to guard him, or then you keep Rudy on Josh Green. But then if Rudy's guarding Josh Green will bring the ball up. Rudy would have to check him, and then you swing the ball to Luka. Luka's going at Rudy Gobert. Or there's just ways you can get Rudy Gobert on the outside. And that's not me saying Rudy Gobert is a defensive liability.
Right.
But there's ways that Dallas can get the matchups they want. And if there's ways Dallas can get the matchups they want, with me not being very high on the Timberwolves offense, especially without Cat, I think they could win that series.
So two things real quick, Slim. So two things, like you just mentioned, Miles, with the pre-switching. Well, one thing that we can do, like you just talked about, that screen being high. Well, the pickup point could be deeper. And if the pickup point is deeper, then I can get around the screen because I know it's coming, as opposed to if the pickup point is at half court, if the pickup point is 3/4 court. Well, now Luka's got a full head of steam. I run into that screen, or I'm late getting around that screen, then Rudy has to switch. But if the pickup point is later, I already know the screen is there, which means I can already get around it. So that screen doesn't have to be a pre-screen. It doesn't have to be forced. The Golden State Warriors, Dallas tried to do that with Steph Curry. More times than not, where they tried to pre-screen and get Steph Curry in mismatches. And I thought the great thing that Curry did was he fought around screens. Not only did he fight around screens, Andrew Wiggins made it difficult on Luka, not necessarily Luka scoring, but made it difficult on Luka to get switched off of him. So in terms of pre-switching, I think that we have to give Rudy, because you already mentioned it, Miles. Rudy has become a lot better defensively on the perimeter. I think his closeouts are a lot better. Now, when you're dragging somebody, 26, 27 feet away from the basket as a big, all bigs are going to struggle. There are not many bigs that I can say that won't struggle. I think Giannis would struggle 27 feet away from the basket. Bam, I don't think he's that great as opposed to being a little bit closer. I think a lot of bigs would struggle, but I think that we got to give Rudy a little bit more credit on his closeouts and defending on the perimeter. So when you're talking about a Dallas Maverick team that's playing against Minnesota, where I think they would struggle, as I think that they would struggle on their front line defending on the perimeter, which is the exact opposite of what you were talking about, because Gafford now has to come out and he's got to deal with Naz Reid, right? Gafford now he's got to run the floor a little bit more and rim run. So in Naz
big jelly, man, big jelly.
Naz Reid is stretching the defense. He's not Cat, right? He's not Cat, because you could take advantage of Naz Reid. The Lakers proved that with a bigger body, but I think that they could take advantage of that front line. I think Minnesota could beat Dallas in 6 games.
I think they can beat him, but I think if there was, because I don't think they're beating OKC, and I don't think they're beating Denver. And realistically, those are the only 3 teams they have a chance of playing. They're not going to be the 5 seed. I don't. Right. How many games back at the 5 seed are they?
It could happen. I want to say
the way the Pelicans are hooping right now, I don't think Dallas are catching. They're 2.5 games back. I don't think they're catching. So realistically, it would have to be one of the 3 seeds, the top 3 seeds. The Timberwolves is the only one I give them a reasonable shot at beating. Doesn't mean that they would, but I think they can. And
right,
yeah. I wanted to. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I want to make sure I get something in though. I got something juicy.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead for the Mavs.
Well, just in general, you talk about pre-switching. Did y'all see that JJ Redick clip with Tyrese Halliburton talking about that Spain pick and roll?
Oh, when the Hawks cleared the
bogey, they cleared out the left side of the floor. Like, you want to talk about how to be pre-switching? Like, actions like that are how you be pre-switching.
That's right.
It was nutty. So they set a Spain pick and roll, and it's going to be tough to explain it without a visual, but they set a Spain pick and roll with Okongwu, and I think it was Trent Forrest at the point.
Where, before you go any further, Slim, where are we? Are we
top
on
of the court?
Okay, we right at the top of the key.
Yeah, so bringing the ball down, top of the key. Right. Spain pick and roll. Trent Forrest, Okongwu, Spain pick and roll with Bogey coming to set the back screen for the roll man. So Bogey runs up to set that back screen after the ball screen happens, and he just immediately pops out to the wing. Okongwu stops his roll and just sets a flare. And the help D, like, obviously you pre-switch Spain pick and roll to keep your big guy on the bottom. But like, I think it was Buddy Hield, like didn't even realize where Bogey was. And when he went to turn, he just ran into Okongwu because he like that guy always rolls. And he set a flare for Bogey. Bogey had he just took a 3 because it's Bogey. But
Denver runs that too. Denver runs that too. And they run it.
I ran it with AG as the.
No, they actually run it. Yeah, AG is the flare screen guy, and Michael Porter Jr. is the guy coming to the corner. And Joker is the guy when they run that dribble handoff. Joker fakes the handoff. He's going right. That flare screen comes. MPJ is wide open in the corner, wide open. So
and there are ways to recognize that though. It's not like it's unstoppable. Because if you notice in that clip of the Hawks, they cleared Trae Young and I forget who else was on the floor, their other guard, to the same side wing. Like both of them were within like 4 feet of each other as they back cut through. So like, okay, why are they opening up this side of the floor? Mm-hmm. Obviously, I think that was the first time they ran it. It's gonna work because you have no clue what's coming. But in the playoffs, stuff like that is harder. Like obviously pre-switching, there are ways to beat it, but if you watch film and in your team like Minnesota that scrambles really, really well, you can still, pre-switch everything and just and guard. But yeah, I think Minnesota's really good. But if there's a team that I think matches up well against them, I think it's the Thunder. I think the Thunder could beat the Timberwolves in a 7-game series.
Me too.
I wish,
especially without Cat. Especially without Cat.
Particularly without Cat. I mean, if Cat was healthy, I think they're
too big. They're too big.
I think they're the only team that could give Denver a run for their money. I'm saying it today, Mars. I think Denver walks to the finals. I think they walk. I think they stroll through the Western Conference, and I think they walk to the finals. I think Minnesota was the only team that could really give them a run because they own the Lakers. They own the Lakers.
The Lakers, man. I mean,
that's of course if the Lakers even make the playoffs. By the way,
I'm still intrigued by Phoenix.
I'm not.
I'm still intrigued.
Fellas, I gotta step in. I gotta step in right quick just to salute everybody that's in the chat. Tell everybody, if you haven't liked the video, go ahead and like the video. Shout out to all of our subscribers, all of our new members. It's been a special year so far, and you guys continue to make it better and better day by day. So salute to you guys. Also today, we will be getting down to all the nonsense, down to the nitty gritty. We are going to figure out right here on Playback if we are officially done with the 90s. We had a special guest yesterday by the name of Dion from Ohio. I think he's going to be coming up. And we're going to get down to the bottom of some of the guys we talked about yesterday, like Eddie Jones, Tim Duncan, Anthony Davis, those guys, and seeing, we're going to go watch some film on them and see if we are really officially, truly done with the whack-ass 90s.
Has Tim Duncan been getting dragged into this conversation?
I
haven't seen any Tim stuff.
Yesterday he caught a stray.
Anthony Davis is clearly a better offensive player than Tim Duncan. I lost 5 years off of my life yesterday having this conversation. I'm certain I did.
That is just
he averages
simply not true.
Points. He averages 5 more points per game.
Mars,
step back threes, Joe. Step back threes.
You're gonna take more years off my life with this, Mars. You are.
Hey, take that and then average it with the possessions per game.
No, we don't need context. No.
Yeah, you're right. Context. Why would we bring context into this?
Exactly. Yeah. 5 more points per game, man. Step back threes. Yeah.
I got a couple super chats, and I want to shout out to our new members. My man Chris Butler became a new member today. Shout out Chris Butler. Yep. Tyler Tucker also became a new member. Welcome to the party. And Tyler Reynolds also is a new member today.
What's up, brother?
Salute to y'all.
Yes, sir.
The full body fit pic on the YouTube profile is crazy. I respect it.
Yo, the Flame sent through a super chat and said, y'all seen that Kawhi injury?
See that avatar, though? You see that avatar? Look at that. Right there. Yeah, look at that. How about that?
You take that picture?
I did not, no. But to his point, all I have to say is, here we go. That's all I have to say with the Clippers. Here we go. There's really nothing else I have to
just
say.
Back spasms. He'll be all right.
Here we go. That's all I'm going to say.
I hope he's all right. If it turns into a Ben Simmons, oh my god.
Here we go.
Chill. So you saying this is the beginning of the end?
Here we go.
Of the season.
First of all, if any of you ever had back spasms, they're debilitating. He couldn't even sit on the bench. He had to leave. That's how bad it was. So for him to have to leave the game and not like go in the back and lay down, he left the arena. He went home. Yes, he left.
That's a Kawhi thing, though. I feel like a lot of guys would have stayed, but Kawhi.
Right. He actually left the arena because he couldn't stand up. That's how bad. That's how much pain he was in. So, with that being said, so Paul George comes back in the lineup after missing a couple of games. Then Russ breaks his hand. So Russ is going to be out for a month. And in the process of Russ being out for a month, here we go with Kawhi Leonard with back spasms. Here we go, man. That's all and coincidentally. And not coincidentally, this is the post that's holding up the 10. So forget Paul George, forget James Harden, forget Russell Westbrook. All of those guys don't matter nearly as much as this one guy, because this is the one guy who's actually been there. This is the one guy who's gotten it done. I mean, Norman Powell took 3 shots in the second half. 3. This it's a big reason why I have such a difficult time when I hear people saying stuff like next man up. There's a reason why next man up doesn't work, right? There's a reason why next man up doesn't work. The reason why next man up doesn't work is because when we have schemes that we run that specifically for these guys that we have on the floor. And when you have a guy come out of the lineup and we replace him with another guy, more times than not, that guy doesn't do what the guy who replacing him with does. So we have to do something different. Joel Embiid is evidence of that. Not only is Joel Embiid evidence of that, Damian Lillard is evidence of that. When you trade a guy for something completely different, it's not going to work as well. So with this Clipper team, all I can say is here we go. That's it. Here we go.
Yeah, maybe building a team out of like aging 34-year-olds wasn't a great idea. I mean, maybe you get a good year out of it, but maybe. Hey, shout out James Harden. Played 54 games straight now. He leads the Clippers in minutes played this year, I believe.
Right.
He's 34, but Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I mean, are there Clippers fans, by the way? Do they exist? I know Paul George fans, I know Kawhi fans, I know James Harden, but Clippers fans who are pulling for the Lou Will, Danilo Gallinari Clippers. Like, did they exist? But like, if you are a Clippers fan, you must be like, man, like SOC, same old Clippers, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I ain't met a Clippers fan.
You have never met a Clippers fan, Mars?
Well, I mean,
neither have I.
I'm in a different country. Why would anyone be a Clippers fan over
Well, the Clippers, they actually have super fans. Clippers do. Like Marcellus Wiley.
Frankie Muniz.
Yeah, they got super fans. So, and they're moving into that new building next year, which now they're going to separate from the Lakers. And they're going to be in the Clippers again. Only reason why they're the Clippers being identified like they are because they play in the same building as the Lakers. But like all I can say is here we go, right? All I can say is here we go. And like a lot of people, like who wishes injury on anybody? Like that's weird. If we being honest, why would you wish injury on anybody, Mars? Why would you do
number 32? I prayed he tore his Achilles.
Why? And the reason why, and Mars, just so you know, I want to make sure that we clear on this. We found out about this 18 years into his career.
And
like that's when we found out about it.
Still had more years of his career to go.
That's what we found. That's when we found out about it. But up until then, I mean, he was already over at that point. He was like, I think he was 17 years in his career, 18 years in his career.
And that's why him getting hurt in the 04 finals was beautiful.
Well, he didn't get hurt in the finals. He got hurt earlier in the year.
Yeah, but then
he got hurt earlier in the year. But with that being said, you wishing injury on somebody, you wishing it for a different reason. You wishing it on him because you think he's a scumbag.
Yes.
Right. So, I mean, I think that's different that's a different level of hate. That's personal right there. Like, I'm not wishing injury on a team because I don't like the Clippers. This is who they are. This is what's been going on with them for the last 4 years. This is what's been happening with this team. This is not a team where, this just came out of nowhere. So I don't hate the Clippers. One of my best friends since the 10th grade used to play for the Clippers. I used to go to Clipper games when they played in the sports arena. So I'm not Terry DeHare when you went to Seton Hall. So
okay,
I was a fan of the actual Clippers.
That was the bad Clippers years, right?
Like, no. Like a couple of years ago was before they got Kawhi Leonard. Those was the bad years of the Clippers. This is when they was like having 5,000 people in the arena. That was way worse. Way worse. Than that.
This is
it was God. When they was actually giving tickets away and they couldn't give them away. That's how bad the Clippers were. But like there's no way you wish an injury on a player unless there's something personal against them. Mars, on the other hand, Mars has a certain way he feels about Karl Malone. So that's different. I don't have anything invested in the Los Angeles Clippers. I see what they've done over the last 4 years, and the evidence that I've seen over the last 4 years suggests to me that this thing is going to go the other way. And sure, and lo and behold, that's what we're seeing again. Not because I'm wishing it to go the other way, but because that's what I've seen over the last 4 years. What else? What other evidence?
Chill. The Clippers are going to be all right. They're good. Hey, they're gonna be all right.
You know what I keep hearing when I hear you say that, Ron. When I hear you say that, you sound like you sound like my parents. You sound like my mother when she used to say tomorrow. Well, it's tomorrow, Ron. It's tomorrow.
It's really not tomorrow. It's actually
tomorrow,
really next
Ron.
month.
It's tomorrow. Tomorrow.
As long as they get to next month.
And we've seen what happens when they got to tomorrow. We've seen it. We've seen what happens when they get to tomorrow. And this is
I need energy cap, chill. I need energy caps on the playoffs run around. I do.
When the Clippers make the finals, man,
it's gonna be hard to beat Kawhi, Paul George, and James Harden with the guys that they have next to them.
Don't forget the other dude. Don't forget him too.
Tyler.
Tyler, and the other dude. Don't leave him out.
Norman Powell, yeah.
Him too.
Russell Westbrook.
There we go.
Don't leave him out. You want me to bring up
Russell about Zubats, bro.
Don't leave him out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can mention the 8th most important person on the team. I guess.
No, he's a lot more important than that, Mars. As a rotation guy, 100%.
100%.
No doubt.
Heart and soul of the team.
Definitely more than.
Give me Norman Powell. Yeah, give me Norman.
Over Russell Westbrook as a shooter. Sure, I could get
as a player on the Clippers.
Russ gives you more things from a basketball perspective.
Yes,
Norman Powell is a professional scorer, and he's great at it, and that's what he does. But That's about it. I mean, in terms of things that he does at a high level,
right,
not bad. He's not like
right.
a deplorable defender or anything, but
right.
Give me Terrence Mann too. Yeah,
Terrence Mann, the forever prospect.
Yeah, give me Terrence.
Terrence has been about to take the jump for like the past 6 years, I swear.
Terrence Mann like 28.
He's on the perfect team for it.
Tomorrow. Come on, man. What's up? What's going on? When tomorrow's here already.
Someone said in the chat, someone said Bones is trash. Bro, I love Bones. I wish he was on a team I wish he was on a bad tanking team so we could just get Bones like terrible shot selection, but like making crazy plays all the time.
Like if he was in Portland. Like if he was in Portland, how much better would Bones be?
Bro, put him in San Antonio. Put him in San Antonio. It's the most fun team in the league, no doubt. Trade him and Devin Vassell. Just swap them. Put him in. Well, I like Devin Vassell, but put Bones in San Antonio. Give him the keys to running the one, and we will see some crazy junk. It'll be the best. They'll lose by 40, but
for the record, I can't watch Wemby, and the reason why I can't, I'm trying, Mars. That San Antonio team is so bad around him.
They're bad.
I can't do it, man. I'm trying. I'm watching them bump into him. With the basketball. I'm thinking it looks like the Keystone.
Trey Jones, man. Trey Jones is trying to run offense, man.
I can't watch these dudes. I'm trying.
They need a point guard.
I'm really trying. I'm trying to watch these dudes. And I'm trying to watch Wemby. We're gonna get back to the Clippers, but I'm trying to watch Wemby, and I'm watching. I can't watch him dive into the paint and bury a guy underneath the basket 4 straight times, and they don't get him the basketball. I can't watch Wemby pick and pop 3 straight trips.
I can watch it when it's against my team, and I see.
And he's wide open, and they don't get him the basketball. Mars, I can't watch the Spurs, yo. I'm trying. I'm trying. I just can't do it, yo. I can't. That team is so bad. That guard play is so bad, so bad. I don't know what to do with these dudes. We
got a couple more super chats. I got 2 from Monka. Monka said Harden's averaging 55 in the 90s.
No, he isn't. Shut up.
He's not. He's shooting 10 shots a game in the 90s.
Yes. What are you talking about?
This is not the possessions for it.
55 a game.
It's dead ball era.
Shut up.
The isolation era. You put James Harden in there.
Yeah, the get the shot clock down to 6 and ISO in the mid post era, not the top of the key. Volume.
Nah, they gonna figure out. Hey, look, give this guy the ball, man. 70. There we go. Yeah, I stand with it. 70.
So
Monka also go ahead, Chill.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Monka also followed up that super chat saying, Mars, if Harden had 3 MVPs, you can explain to the panel which years he wins it, and 1 in 2018. Where would he rank all time?
Crazy hypothetical. He should have 3-peated from 17 to 19. But so if he did and then won the title in 2018, people would probably have him over D Wade for sure at this point.
3 straight MVPs plus winning the NBA championship. James Harden averaging 30. I think in them 3 years, I think he averaged 36, 34, and 32, something like that.
If I remember, I don't know. I know 2018 he averaged 30. Then 2019 he averaged 36, and 2017 I want to say was 29 because I know Russ led the league in scoring that year. But then in 2020 he led the league in scoring again at 34.
That's what I'm thinking.
I might be wrong. I'm gonna check. I might be wrong.
It was 36, 34, and like 32 or some nonsense like that. And it was 3 straight years that he did that. 3 straight
30 and a half, but 30, 36, and 34. Right. 3 straight years. But 2017 to 19, 29, 30, and 36.
Is that peak James Harden?
17 to like 20? Yeah.
Yes.
I throw 21 in there too, but he got hurt in the playoffs. So I guess we can leave that one out. So 17 to 20, 3 MVPs, a title. He's probably in most people's top. Where's Giannis? For like most people.
I don't think Giannis is a top 20.
Then that's where he probably is. He's in like Giannis, where Jokic range, like where Jokic is right now, that range. Well, some people have guys like Giannis in the top 20 already, but like he'd be around those guys. That's where he'd be. Right. I think that's where he'd be if he had
for 3 straight league MVPs and an NBA championship. Are we assuming that he wins the Finals MVP too?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's probably where he'd be. Now, for me, where would he be? Probably about where he is now.
Where is he now? Top 40?
Top 25.
James Harden is a top 25 player all time.
Yeah, but I'm not ranking anyone who played before the 3-point line.
Okay, so that means
that if you add those guys, he's like top 35.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't just look at numbers. I mean, me personally, I'm a tier guy. I don't like, putting numbers on guys at the end of the day, because I think at any point you can have 15 guys that you can argue for a top 10 spot in the league currently or all time or whatever. But I think like something to take into consideration. I think it gives points, but not like a crazy amount. But James Harden revolutionized the game a little bit. I mean, he was running a system that had already been run, but he was running it in a very different way, because Steve Nash ran that same D'Antoni system as a true point, and James Harden ran it as a scoring point. And obviously both successful, didn't win championships, but put up crazy numbers, did stuff in basketball that we haven't seen before. And I think like that's a big thing if you do want to rank guys of like, okay, well, I'm going to put James a little higher because he did this. I'm going to put Kareem a little higher because he did this. I'm going to put Dirk a little higher because he did this. But, Mavericks goggles, me. Either way, just a caveat that I think a lot of people we get caught up in looking at accolades and numbers and this and that. It's like, man, this guy did something that had never been done before. Even like you go way back, and I don't know, is a name that a lot of people probably won't know, but Chill, you definitely know it. Jack Sikma.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
He was like, yeah, I mean, I guess real ones know Jack Sikma, but
shout
he was
Luke Sikma too.
Luke Sikma.
Yeah, shout out Luke Sikma.
Was he in the league too?
He didn't quite make it to the NBA, but he's a Seattle legend, if you will. He's the son of Jack.
Okay, cool.
Seattle legend.
Now, the Sikma blood runs strong.
Yeah, he actually plays overseas. Believe it or not, Shaq and Chill, or Mars and Chill, he plays on Shaq's team.
Oh, that's dope. But either way, I was going to say Jack Sikma was the first guy to consistently catch the ball on the block and just do a reverse
pivot. Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, like there's a video on YouTube of Hubie Brown talking about it, and he's like, he catches the ball, and rather than turning this way, he turns this way, and like it seems stupid now, but at the time it was revolutionary. I mean, I think at like fast forward 30 years, not revolutionary, it's probably an exaggeration, but fast forward 30 years, people are going to look at the James Harden step back and be like, man, that's not a signature move. That's just a step back. What are you talking about? So I don't know. I think we got to give flowers.
I already do.
Yeah. I mean, most people are doing their little double step back. Yeah. But do you think what James Harden was doing with D'Antoni and Steve Nash is the same system?
It is. It's a 7-second. It's the same offense, but they ran the same offense. They just didn't run as much Spain in it. It's the same system. Sorry, not the same sets within the system, because you need a rim running big in that system, and you need floor spacers, because to get that paint touch is what frees everything up. However, when you have an isolation scorer like James Harden, which was the first like true, I'm trying to think I don't think he ever had a guy. D'Antoni never had a guy like James Harden. So he's like, well, like, if we want to get a lot of shots up fast, I mean, James can run the pick and roll, and he's a great playmaker. I think in those years, what do you average assist-wise, Mars?
Well, he led the league in 17.
Double figures. He averaged 10
He
assists.
led the league in 17. Then 18, I think, was close to double-digit assists.
I don't think he didn't average less than 8 assists.
In 2019, when he averaged 36, was 7.5. I know that, but every other year was pretty high.
Either way, you're still getting those paint touches. That's the key. But at the same time, coming off a pick and roll, you got to be on your heels with the rim running big and everyone else spacing. So it's going to open up a lot of perimeter shots from the ball handler. Right. When you have a guy that's as good as James shooting off the dribble, he's going to take a lot. It's the same system. It's just different personnel. And that's what makes D'Antoni so good, is because the best coaches can take any roster and adjust the way they want to play to fit that mold of the guys that they have. And not a lot of coaches can do that well. And I think that's why a lot of coaches don't make it to the NBA, or they're better in college, because in college, you want a type of guy, you go recruit him. In the NBA, you get given a team and is like, do something with it. Like Bob Huggins, coach at West Virginia, presses the mess out of people, gritty, like all his guys buy, and they full court press the whole game. Could not coach in the NBA.
No,
it's because
that's why Calipari didn't last. That's why Calipari didn't last.
Great example, a college coach.
Trash college coach too, but well, sorry.
What'd you say?
I hate Calipari.
I mean, his system
ruined Scala this year.
Oh,
sorry.
Hey, Scal's in the G League, bro. He's hooping.
Man, he was the
I've
number
been watching
one
some of his clips, bro.
But to his point.
Yeah, back to your point. Sorry, back to your point.
No, I mean, honestly, I lost where I'm at. ADHD brain.
Damn. Right. So
my bad.
No, you're good. I guess I'm saying same system, different personnel, and D'Antoni did a great job.
Well, when you got a bigger guard in James Harden, you got a more score first kind of guard in James Harden. And Steve Nash was more of a distributor than he was a scorer. Steve Nash could score, but he was definitely more of a distributor.
Different gravities.
Right.
Very different gravities.
And he fit D'Antoni's system. He fit D'Antoni's system to a T because he can knock down shots. And in the process of them playing wide open, he could keep guys honest. You have guys who play wide open, but I really don't have to guard you at the long ball line, right? I don't really have to guard you 18 feet. I could leave you open. Like I'm thinking about a guy like Matt Maloney. I don't know if you remember Matt Maloney. He used to play for the Houston Rockets. Matt Maloney was the double team man. He was the guy who could knock down an open shot, but he wouldn't be as effective in Mike D'Antoni's offense because he wasn't the distributor that Steve Nash was. He wasn't the shooter that Steve Nash was. So not everybody could play in Mike D'Antoni's offense. People will bring up guys like Chris Duhon. Well, sure, it looks wide open, but Chris Duhon is a smart guy, so he can knock down a mid-range jump shot, which I can appreciate that. But with a guy like James Harden, who's a score-first guard, I don't consider James Harden to be a point guard or a two guard. I think he's more of a combo guard. But when he's more of a score-first guard, and that offense is as wide open as it is, and he's basically giving him free reign to do whatever he wants, I think that he's going to be a lot more effective than a guy like Steve Nash, who is more of a distributor than he is a scorer.
All right, on to the next super chat from Big Fan Breezy. He said the Nets going to show up to the play-in like cousin Lucky and Poetic Justice. Win, get to the playoffs. Cam Thomas, MIP.
Hell no.
I'm not. What has Cam Thomas been doing lately? I mean, I'm not just like, I haven't seen the highlights. So I haven't seen any highlights on big accounts. So he must not be doing anything. But
he did work against Cleveland a couple of nights ago, and they went into Cleveland and beat them. Yeah, he did. He did work against Cleveland.
Yeah, very disappointed.
I like Cam.
Can't beat the Nets.
By the way, Mars. Yes, I was not happy with that.
I didn't like him, but I like him more than I did when he came in. But I was very low on Cam Thomas. So,
what was your issue with him? What was your issue with Cam Thomas, Mars?
Because he could only score. Like he was just terrible at everything else. His defense was criminal. Wasn't a willing passer. Would pass up better shots for his teammates to take contested jumpers. And I was like, he's not playing because he's just bad everywhere else. Now, on a team that needs scoring, I think Cam Thomas is pretty valuable, but I'm still not like, he's not the best scorer in the league. But I'm higher on Cam Thomas now. I wasn't very high on him. Now I'm reasonably high on Cam Thomas. I think he's a good player.
He got to be getting paid, right? He's in a contract here.
No,
he's drafted in 21, so I think he's restricted for this year, and then next year would be a year.
Yeah, you're right.
I think, yeah.
He's about to get paid. Somebody's going to pay him.
A team is going to offer a guy like Cam Thomas.
You know, whether it's like a team that's going to take a chance on him to be like one of their guys, or a tanking team to just pump him with money and let him be your I mean, what the Wizards did with Jordan Poole, essentially. Someone would be willing to do that, because I don't think he's good enough to be the guy. But on a good team, being if they can talk him down on his volume to buy in and play with other stars, to play with stars, then I think he could do that. Or like maybe be a second unit, like bench leader, like a true Lou Williams, Jamal Crawford role. Just come off the bench and be a firecracker for us. It's your world when you're out there.
That's probably why I envision. Yeah, that's probably why I envision.
Yeah.
Ace 30 with the super chat. Ace 30 said, why can't we keep the same energy for other injury-prone players on other contenders? Last 4 seasons, Murray, KP, Middleton, etc. Also, get them lights up. Y'all heard Ace 30. Get them lights up.
We've seen Jamal Murray 2 of the last 4 years. Let's see. They won the NBA championship last year. He tore his ACL, so he missed the season. And the year before that, they was in the bubble, and he did work. and they were right at the doorstep. They just ran into a Laker team that was just better. Middleton, the reason why we can't keep the same energy for those guys because Denver won the NBA championship. Milwaukee won the NBA championship. Even though I'm out on Milwaukee. I'm out on them, even though I'm out on Milwaukee, but they did win the NBA championship. And Denver is right at the top of the Western Conference again. Meanwhile, the Clippers, they consistently break down. Consistently. That's what they've been doing over the last 4 years. So there's really not much else to talk about with these dudes.
Porzingis is broke now. But sorry, Karen.
Is he broken down? Or
he has in prior years, yeah.
Or are they managing? Because I think they're doing a good job in managing him. The question is he going to be able to hold up? Is he going to be able to hold up in the playoffs? Because I think they're doing it because they did the same thing with Kawhi Leonard last year. The Clippers did the same thing with Kawhi Leonard. They brought him along slowly. They managed his minutes. They sat him out games. I believe it's called load management. They're doing the same thing with Porzingis because I feel like there's games where he would have played if it was the playoffs. I feel like I don't think that the games that he sat out, if it was the playoffs, he would have sat out. I think he would have played. So with that being said, I think they're doing a great job in Boston in managing him. Can he hold up? We're gonna find out. And this is the first time he's been on a crew like this, by the way. This isn't he's had a history of injury, but this is the first time he's been on a team like this before.
Joe Dapp said, what are your thoughts on the 40 wins before 20 losses?
Oh, what's that, the Phil Jackson thing? That if you want to win the title, you have to get how accurate is it? I don't check. Like I don't be like how many title teams didn't get, I don't know. But I know the only teams that did it this year, I think, are Boston, OKC, Minnesota, and Denver, I think.
And for those who don't know, Phil Jackson said, in order for your team to be elite, well, just in his philosophy, in order for your team to be elite, you have to win 40 games before you lose 20 games.
That's fair.
Then I'm sure there's outliers, right?
Yeah, probably more often than not, though. That's a team that wins the tip is doing that.
Yeah, probably, but I'm not fact checking it.
It's like have y'all heard of the trapezoid of excellence for March Madness?
No, I haven't.
It's this like pace adjustment for like scoring some type of thing, but there's this area on this graph, and this guy, and he's going like crazy on college basketball, like TikTok and Instagram right now. And he did it last year too, but he's like a team from this area of this metric has won the national championship every single year. And it's like, it's not a crazy amount of teams. It's like usually like 10 to 15-ish teams every year that fall in that area. But it's really cool. Look it up. Just trapezoid of excellence. Really weird name, but it's super neat if you're a basketball nerd.
So I believe the Rockets in 95, I think they got the 20 losses before they got the 40 wins.
I'd assume so. Yeah, they were a 6 seed. Yeah,
right. They got the 20 losses before the Lakers in 2001. They ended up with 20 losses. They were 23-21 at one point, and this was when the Kobe and Shaq thing was going on. Let's see, the Miami Heat in 2006. Shaq had missed 20 games. He rolled his ankle early, and they had fallen for a while. I think they had gotten to, I think they were 35-21 at one point before they had gotten to 40 wins, and then they got rolling in the playoffs. Let's see.
You ever forgotten something before, Chill? Like just ever?
Yeah, absolutely. I did.
Yeah, you got the best. Like, you gotta have a photographic memory.
He just be knowing the most random stuff. I swear, it's crazy.
I'm just thinking about the teams that that have had struggles, but to your point, fellas, it's more times than not teams win 40 games before they lose 20. So if you think about the champions in the past, yeah, more times than not, those are the only two that I can remember off the top of my head.
That means OKC have a chance, man. Yeah. Based on that means they have a chance.
Yeah,
I believe.
Alan L. I repeat, Alan L. with the question taken from Open Gym. Would Jokic be better or worse or the same level defender if he played in the 90s? And L. James L.
He would have a tougher time because, I mean, don't get me wrong. Joker is one of the best effort guys on defense. He just can't do it. That's all it is. It's not like Joker isn't trying to play defense. He's trying to play defense. So when you playing on the block against Alonzo Mourning, you playing on the block against Mutombo and against Shaq and against David Robinson and against Olajuwon, other bigs like Rick Smits, guys like that. Well, I think it's going to be tougher on him as a defender because, Joker's mobility isn't great. I mean, Joker's one of the toughest guys. I will give him that, but I think that he would struggle staying in front of guys more than anything, especially considering what the rules were. I think Joker would struggle defensively.
I'll take your word for it. It's like I have such a hard time commenting on who would be able to play in each era because at the end of the day, anyone I'm 26. Anyone around my age didn't watch 90s basketball. So
You didn't miss much.
But to your point, though, he'd give Alonzo Mourning hell.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think.
Mutombo would dragging Mutombo 17, 18, 19 feet away from the basket. Mutombo would be food.
And he's from the basket. I mean, are we taking the Nuggets and putting them in that era, or are we just putting Jokic and making him run an offense from that era? Because I don't think, in that case, if you're making him run 90s style offense, he's just sitting in the dunker spot the whole time. But
Jokic he would still be amazing though.
He would be good.
You'd have to add his game because same thing the Trailblazers did with Sabonis. That's what they would do with Joker because of his skill set. But the problem with him is he struggled.
I forgot about Arvidas.
The problem is that he struggled with guys like Shaq. He struggled with big guys like David Robinson. He struggled with guys like Olajuwon because those guys offensively in terms of scorers would just give Joker hell. He'd give them hell too. He'd give Shaq hell. I'm trying to imagine.
Also 90s
in a pick and roll with Shaq. Oh my God.
90s basketball, you can put another guy out there to guard. I mean, I guess you're talking, I don't know if you're talking about offensively or defensively, but he's not guarding the other team's best big man. He's probably guarding some your classic 90s power forward who's just kind of like an athletic rebounder.
So instead of Olajuwon, he's gonna guard Otis Thorpe. Is that who he's guarding? So
more than likely, yeah.
So instead of Felton Spencer,
instead of guarding Vlade Divac, he's guarding Kevin Funderburk, was that his name?
Chris Webber, he's going to do that. Wow.
I just think that you can run that Twin Towers lineup back then, and you can still have that guy in the dunker spot and have Joker running stuff higher up, more so toward the pinch post.
Yeah,
like Arvidas.
Jokic locking up. But
is
Jokic locking up Arvidas?
What is
just
Nick?
Generally,
disengage right now.
Troll alert! Woo!
How's that?
What I want to know is, would Jokic's offense be able to cancel out his defense similar to how he does today, or would he be much more of a defensive liability?
Possessions. I don't know if there's enough possessions in the game.
That part right there. How are they going to use him? How would they use Joker? Because Joker's got a unique skill set, that none of those dudes had back then. None of them. So Joker's got a really unique skill set, his ability to pass, where he can pass. He can shoot the long ball, his ability to get downhill, grab the ball off the glass. Guys like David Robinson could grab the ball off the glass and go with it. Shaq could grab the ball off the glass and go with it. Alonzo Mourning, that really wasn't his game. Alonzo Mourning played on the block. Mutombo, that really wasn't his game. So it depends on how they use Joker. How do they utilize and maximize his skill set?
What coach would you pair? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I got to shout out everybody in the chat, especially the ones that have liked the video. If you don't want to like the video, so be it. But I encourage all you guys to like the video. It does us a big favor. Also, while you're doing that, go to playerschoicemerch.com and also queue up your playbacks because in exactly an hour, we are going over to get down to the bottom of this 90s riffraff. Are we done with the 90s officially today? I think we will answer that question today. We will be on playback in an hour, 10 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock Eastern time. You guys, hey, get that all queued up because it's going down today. Also, I guess as of right now, we've talked about, all these 90s players and we've talked about all these current players. And I just kind of want to go ahead and put together a unit of 90s players and the best unit of players over this last decade and see how those two teams stack up against each other. The top 10 players from this last decade. And then let's dig up our top 10 players in the 90s. And let's see really which superstars are overrated and which superstars aren't and what collection of talent is better. So with that being said, we're gonna start with the current era. Now we have to decipher from every position. We got to find 2 players in each position. It's gonna be kind of hard, but I think we'll figure it out.
We're starting with the 90s?
No, we're gonna start with today.
Okay.
That's right, Mars. Come on, Mars.
I realized what I did on Monday got punished by what happened yesterday. So I've got to be serious now. We're gonna get a repeat of what happened yesterday if I troll. So
Mars, did you get called into the principal's office?
I got punished. I can say that. I got punished.
Did you get this right here, Mars? Come on. We need to talk to you.
It's just a thing called karma. You know, karma finds its way to come back around.
So I gotta be serious. I'm not going through that again.
Are you okay? I know yesterday was kind of rough. You good?
I've done my best to recuperate.
All right.
Mars, to be fair, Mars, I did lose a couple of years off my life yesterday too. I was hanging in there as much as I possibly could. I was.
What happened yesterday?
Mars, I saw Mars like around Mars in like the 8th round. Mars he just ran out of gas. He just couldn't do it no more. He was good. He just couldn't. I was still in there swinging. I'm sure I lost some years off my life yesterday. I'm sure I did. Especially with that Anthony Davis clears Tim Duncan offensively. No doubt about that. I lost some years off.
Yeah, confirmed.
Like
You're
Steph Curry.
When he
gotta
said
be
that,
15 years old if you're saying that.
he said LeBron shoots. He said LeBron shoots like Steph Curry. I'm like, what? What's happening right now?
In no way, shape, or form does he do that.
On no planet, not even in a multi-universe, is that going on. Nowhere.
Yeah,
all right, well,
like Steph in space.
So hold on. Do we have Steph? I'm assuming Steph is our starting point guard on this team over the past.
Wait, is Steph
decade.
really a point guard?
I mean, you can put him there.
So here's what we actually gonna do. We're just gonna do it not necessarily positionless, but it's gonna be 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center. And the thing about it is we have the discretion to if we want to put AD at center or AD at power forward. That's something that we can do. It's our job to build.
So it's the last 10 years, right?
Yeah, best superstar team that we can put together.
14 season, is that correct?
We're getting the best of every guy we mentioned, not what they are now. Okay, cool.
Over this last 10 years. It's not like we're gonna get LeBron or we get Dwayne Wade and we're like, oh well, this is Dwayne Wade from 2006. No, the best that they've been over this last year.
Right.
So I mean,
can we get the unanimous ones at like Steph, LeBron, KD? Just throw them in there.
Yes, we should probably just go ahead and do that.
So at the guard spot, let's start with the guard spot. We need 2 guards. In the last 10. Okay, so those are the 2 guards. All right.
Should be.
So, yeah. Okay.
You got Steph and Luka?
No, Steph and James Harden.
Okay.
Over the last 10 years.
Well, Luka will be the backup.
I'm probably taking Chris Paul before I'm taking James Harden, low key, for a point guard. I already have Steph on the team, who's a scoring point guard. I'd love to have another point guard.
Oh wait, are we building a roster or just the 10 best players?
10 best players. But it's a roster, but it's the 10 best players.
It's the 10 best players. That's what we're doing.
I don't want 2 small guards anyways. Chris Paul and Steph. Nah, Steph and James Harden.
Steph and James Harden.
I'm cool with James Harden. The forward spot.
LeBron and KD.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay.
Those 2. Mm-hmm.
And then Jokic.
The big.
Yeah.
Jokic or Giannis.
Jokic. Right?
Yeah, put Jokic at the my pick is Jokic. I mean, I'm trying to think of any other unanimous,
some people are gonna miss out who I
2020 AD. 2020
yeah, there's some people are gonna miss because I want to get Embiid, Jokic, Giannis, and Jokic in here. But it's gonna be difficult.
Embiid is a tough one to pass up on too.
So Jokic is taking center?
Yes, Jokic, yes.
Okay.
You like that, Chill? He's silent.
At the 5
Chill. What's going on, Chill?
Well, I'm thinking about over the last 10 years. That's when during the 13-14 season is when the 5-man started to die.
Yep. Yeah, they were cooked. We can't.
Yeah, that's
the only option is Boogie Cousins at that time.
Yes, and to be honest with you, Boogie at that point he only had like maybe 3 years after that, and then he started to break down when he got to New Orleans. So that was in like 18, like 3 or 4 years. So yeah,
First year in New Orleans, though, man. That first year in New Orleans is crazy.
Joker is the guy. I'll concede the Joker. Sure. Yeah.
I hate that Giannis isn't in his starting 5.
because I know Mars wants to.
You made us do position. If you made us rank 1 through 10, Giannis will probably be in the top 5.
I know Mars wants to. I know Mars wants to go with. I forgot who he said.
Embiid?
Yeah, but Embiid missed the first 2 years. So,
well, we're just taking their best year. We're not talking about their body of work.
We're
over
talking
the past
about them
decade.
at their best.
You're just taking the guy at their best. It's difficult to block the rest of it out, to put the blinders on. But just think about their like when they were at their best. You know, it can't just be.
Embiid is not better than Joker at his best. He's not.
I don't think so either.
No, he's not. Embiid is not better than Joker when Joker is.
I agree, but I think Embiid is in the top 10 of the last 10 years.
I'm taking Embiid as the other center. That's my pick for the other center.
I can get with
sure.
that. I can get with that.
The backup guards, is it Luka and someone else?
Damian Lillard.
Dame?
Yes.
No, I'm sorry.
I think is Luka unanimous.
Russ before unanimous? Dame, bro.
Okay, if Luka's unanimous, we can put Luka on, and then we'll discuss
but Dame.
For me, it's Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, I'm taking Russ before Dame.
Is it the MVP that's moving you guys?
No,
I think he's just a bad player.
At the peak, the peak of what Damian Lillard is, he was never even close to what Russell Westbrook was.
Man, damn, bro.
Russell Westbrook averaged. I mean, in his MVP year, what is Dame's? And I don't mean to just like talk about peak years, but we're just talking. This is the conversation of who was better at their peak.
The best Dame was
Russell Westbrook has one of the best peaks of all time as a player.
I think Russ
in terms of doing things for a basketball team, points. I mean, like both ends of the floor, all aspects of the game. Russ did everything for a team.
If James is unanimously on here, Russ has to be.
Oh yeah.
If James is on here, based on what he did at his best,
right?
Russ has to be on here based on what he did at his best.
James Harden is bad, but I mean, I see your point, and
I don't want to get into that argument, even though I still want Russ. But
I mean, I can appreciate.
My vote is Russ. My vote is Russ.
I can appreciate Russ. I mean, Dame did go 30 and 7.
Are you forgetting?
30 and 7. 30 and 7. How about 28, 10 and 10?
Right.
How about 20, 20 and 20?
It was 32, 11 and 10. And
generalizing.
We're talking about Dame, who was the man on his team from day one. He was the man on his team from day one, and he was getting his team in the playoffs. He was consistently an all-pro. He was consistently playing at an all-pro level. I think Russ was a better defender. I won't even argue that. I will not argue that. But
yeah, I'll go at you like y'all wanted me for Tyrese.
I won't even argue that Russ was a better defender. But I think Dame was smarter than him. I think Dame was headier than him.
But that's not the question. The question is who was better at their peak, and I think the answer is unanimously Russ. And I mean, I would
not unanimous because Cho disagrees.
Well,
Cho thinks Dame is better because
all my brain cells are unanimously agreeing with myself that it's not close.
I'm outvoted here. I think it's Dame, but if Russ is the guy, then bet Russ is the guy.
All right, and then Slim, I'm with you on that. So we're gonna go with Russ and Halliburton.
Halliburton.
Respect the sanctity of the list, please. What we doing?
Halliburton, we doing that, bro? Hold on.
Wait.
Oh, my bad. I thought we was projecting to the end of the day. Okay,
we were doing Sir Luka.
Yeah,
I love it, Ron. I got
ahead of myself.
I love it.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, Ron, we don't want to screw this up.
Yes, sir, Ron.
Can we
get Tyrese talk?
We don't want to screw this up, Ron. Yes, we can.
By the way, Shay, shout out to Hallie. Putting SGA in a blender last night and then packing up the OKC Thunder. We watched a little bit of that on playback. I know we can't really talk about that today because we talking about the era talk and whatnot. But respect Hallie and respect the Pacers and what they're doing over there. SGA got packed up last night. I told y'all at the beginning of the season that I rank Hallie over SGA. It has changed. Obviously, SGA is having a phenomenal year, but Hallie is like that once again. Just have to push my Halliburton propaganda.
Great player.
Nice. He's all right. So can we get Kawhi, Giannis, and KD? Kawhi, Giannis, and Embiid, sorry.
Kawhi, Giannis, Embiid?
Unless someone has
we have an extra guard spot. Are we supposed to have 5 guards total?
It can be.
Is that extra guard spot? If it's not Dame, is that Paul George's spot?
Ooh.
That means we're picking 11 people.
It was supposed to be 10, but since it's there, let's use.
We can just add it.
Can I just be a wild card player instead of it being a position?
It's definitely a wild card player.
Okay, so can we get Kawhi, Giannis, and Embiid in, right? and then we'll just pick whoever the next best player is.
Are we going to leave Anthony Davis off this list? There's no way.
I think that wild card spot should be Anthony Davis.
There's no way we're leaving Anthony Davis.
That's why I said it shouldn't be. It should just be a wild card position. But I think Kawhi, Giannis, and Embiid should be in.
We'll do that. All right. So we got Kawhi, and everybody's cool with Kawhi and Giannis, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Embiid
and Embiid.
Yeah.
And then I think the wild card spot should. I think it should be Anthony Davis, but I'm open to suggestions.
I like AD there too.
I do too.
If we're talking about peaks, that 20, I've said it before on the show, 2020 AD, like at that time in the bubble when they were on their championship run, he was the best player in the world. He was unstoppable. And he did everything, both ends of the floor.
Jumpers, yes.
If Anthony Davis is making jumpers, engaged on defense, and healthy, he's the best player in the world. It's just like that. But
at that time, yeah, I agree.
I think so much what's going on with him now is up here, unfortunately,
Well, hold on, though. See, I don't like this because AD has been playing. AD's balled out.
Good, but he's not an alpha.
It's just different. It's different.
He was supposed to be an alpha. That was the plan.
Wait a minute. You can be an alpha and not win the whole thing. There's plenty of alphas who have not won.
Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't say alpha.
Shout out to Jimmy Butler, man. Shout out to Jimmy Butler.
Dame is an alpha, and they didn't win it with him. So
do you think AD's an alpha?
I do think.
I think he's just playing out of position.
I do think he's an alpha. I just don't.
Maybe he needs a big man next to him. It's tough to say when we haven't seen that in a long time.
I think
the level of agility he used to have versus what he has now. Like he's still very agile, but.
Mars, why are we talking about him like he had to bulk up? Like he's been 250 since the 14 season.
But it's different. I don't know how to explain it. Like the weight is different. I can't.
Is it because he's older?
It might be, but it's just different. Like the way he looked in like 2018 is different.
He even if
he's the same weight. Like technically he might weigh the same, but the weight is carried differently. Like it's different. So
because in 2021 he looked bottom heavy. More than anything, even if he was 250, because like I said, I believe it was in 2014, he had bulked up to 200 and almost 50 pounds. Like he was like 247, almost 250. That's what he's playing at now. But in 2021, he looked bottom heavy more than anything, and I think that's a lot of the reason why he got hurt.
You got a wagon on him back then.
That's what. Yeah, he definitely. Yeah, he did. He got bottom heavy. Yes,
he got that thing on him.
He definitely got bottom heavy.
Googly moogly.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm running a poll right now.
Dame got 1%.
And I'm asking you guys, who should be the final spot for the wild card spot that we have on this current era roster? AD, Paul George, Kyrie, which we haven't mentioned yet, and Dame. And y'all not really rocking with Dame, but I want to ask you guys, are we forgetting anybody? Let's think on this.
No love for Jason Tatum? Jason Tatum has best isn't better than Paul George or Kyrie or...
Chill. Now keep in mind, we're team current era. We know we're going to play the 90s in a crazy showdown in 2 weeks. So we got our big board. We're going through everybody. How much consideration does Jason Tatum get for these 11 roster spots for you?
Since 2017 up until now?
Well, no, you're getting him at his best.
The best version of Tatum, where does he stack up over the best version of players over the last 10 years?
I don't think we've seen the best version of him. But the best version I've seen of him so far, I think that was last year.
Does he even get consideration? Or are you like, all right, we got KD, we got Giannis. We got
the best of KD. LeBron. The best of KD. Tatum was not better than that. The best of James, he wasn't better than that. The best of Joker, he wasn't better than that. The best of Embiid, no, he wasn't better than that.
Embiid is just so dominant. He imposes
just so much better. Yeah,
he wasn't better than that.
He wouldn't be compared to Embiid either, because it's just like Embiid at that second center. I think he's almost a lock, unless you're going to take AD, which still don't think we do that. But
respect Boogie Cousins. That 1 year Joakim Noah in 13-14.
Just tough with this.
The best of I don't think the best of Jason Tatum is in this conversation. I don't.
I agree.
Chill. I'm so proud of you, man. That seemed like it was really hard for you.
But if we were to go 11 through 15 or 12 through 15, essentially, JT might get some love. It's obviously these four guys. You got JT.
An honorable mention.
You still got Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler definitely gets some love on here.
Chris Paul.
Yeah, Chris Paul is the closest one. Honestly, I mean,
Clay
Chris
get love?
Paul or Kyrie,
Who?
Clay.
No.
12 through 15. You don't think Clay gets love?
No.
No.
Does-
If we're building,
Draymond?
the thing is, if we're
He
building
wasn't
a
even
team,
a top 10 player in the league at his best at the
During
time.
that
How could he
time.
be top 15 of the last 10
No.
years?
Absolutely,
No.
but his specialty, and I know that
We're not
If we
building
were
a team
building
that-
a roster, in
yeah,
terms
that's
of
what I was about to
fit,
say.
yeah,
that
sure.
that shifts a
But
little
actual
bit. That
best
shifts a
players,
little bit.
No.
John Wall would get consideration before Klay Thompson. And I'm not.
All
doing
right,
it
y'all.
anymore.
So it's going to AD for sure. Is that what we're doing?
AD.
my vote's AD.
Yeah, AD.
All right. Anthony Davis takes
If
the
I hear
final
John Stockton's name on this list.
roster spot. Mars, you already know who's starting at point guard.
Penny Hardaway.
Nope.
The best version of Penny
I'm
Hardaway in
not
the 90s
mad
is
at
better
that.
than John Stockton.
No, it is not.
I'm really not
Yes,
mad
it
at
is.
that.
No, it is not.
Yes, it
It's
is.
not.
Yes, it is.
Yo, chill.
1996 Penny Hardaway is better than whatever
1991 John Stockton. 1990 John. No, he
Yes.
is not. No, he
Yes.
isn't. John Stockton. John.
Yeah.
Those 3 years. Those 3 years. Just as a basketball player, I know what you're looking at, Mars. You're looking at him playing above the rim, him playing in transition. John Stockton, those 3 years from 1989 from 1988 to 1991 was the best version of him.
88 and 89 don't count because it's the 90s. So I can't.
Okay,
use that.
so even 90 and 91,
yes,
those 2 years, the best version of him. Better passer, better defender, better at shooting gaps, better at being an off-ball defender, better at jump shooting in the mid-range, better at the long ball, better on defense. The only thing I'll give you with Penny Hardaway, he was bigger, he was a better athlete. I thought I said that. Oh, I clearly got to turn this off. I'm sorry.
That's Penny calling you right now, telling you to stop lying on his name.
Yeah.
Might be. Yeah, I thought I turned this off. My fault. But anyway,
Chill, man,
anyway,
you gotta tell your side pieces to stop calling you during the middle of the show,
there are
man.
no side pieces. I apologize, fellas.
Okay,
Anyway,
all right.
so those years from 90, 91 is better than any version of Penny Hardaway.
But I disagree, but I can't keep John Stockton off the list. So as long as Penny Hardaway makes it the second guard, well, MJ, but he's gonna make it in one of these guard spots at some point. So that's fine.
He might not be starting, but we can have a
He
conversation.
should be, but I mean, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say Stockton and Jordan.
Well, chill. Hold on. Wait.
Does it have to be 2 point guards?
I was thinking, well, it could be however we want to do it. Keep in mind, I mean, some people would say Steph Curry and James Harden are both 2 point guards, or some people would say that they both 2 shooting guards. But here's what, let's not forget. It's the 90s.
Right.
And it's everybody that played in the 90s. And it's them at their best. And if we're going with the point guard, I still want the best point guard of all time.
Magic.
Yes.
Yeah.
He played in the 90s.
Magic? 91 Magic?
How many years in the 90s did he play?
It's only about the best.
90,
He played
90,
he played in
91.
1989, 1990. So that's
So
like
you get his.
Then he
best,
played 90,
you get
90,
his best years
91,
in
and
the
then he came
90s?
back in 96. And he played the 92 All-Star game too.
Do we only
And he
get his?
played in the
We
92
only
Olympics
got
as well.
we only
You
got
only
2
get
years
the
in
you only get the 1990 or 1991 version of Magic.
I think
Which I still it's better than John Stockton. So I stand with that.
I'll
mean
do that.
Gilbert
All right.
Arenas?
I'll take that.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
So
Magic Johnson. I'm fine with
yeah.
Magic Johnson. Yeah.
Magic and
Magic
and Jordan.
Yeah. That's fine.
How can I forget Magic? Probably because he only played 2 years in the 90s. We got robbed.
Yeah, but see, chill. That's what I'm saying. We keep
got robbed.
thinking like who was best during the decade, like who had the best stretch. No, everybody at their peak,
At their best. 1990 and 1991, Magic was better than any year of Stockton. And I'm a big time Stockton guy, but he was better than
For
Stockton.
some reason, yeah. So Magic and MJ, yeah. Now, who you guys go the forwards?
Why you hate John's? I'm not gonna.
I don't hate him. He's just not the best point guard. So yeah, we got him hopefully not on the roster.
Yeah,
Scotty.
Mars. Yeah, right.
I'm still gonna be pushing the Penny Hardaway agenda at the next guard.
They can both. I'm not mad at both of them.
Yeah, because I need
honestly.
Reggie Miller, man. I need Reggie Miller.
Definitely,
I need Reggie Miller
For that forward spot, I'm going to say Scottie Pippen.
I'm gonna say Grant Hill.
Ooh, Grant Hill's a good one.
1994, Scottie Pippen was better than any version of Grant Hill.
Respect.
What about Rodman?
98, 99.
Are you putting Rodman at a forward
And
spot?
I think the best version of
Grant Hill. I'm not. Nope.
I think Grant Hill 98. Grant Hill was probably the best version of him. And am I putting Grant Hill over like 92 Dominique Wilkins, the 32 a game Dominique Wilkins, the 29 a game Dominique?
The
Am I
best
doing that?
Grant Hill was probably the 2000 season before he went to Orlando. But
I thought it was 98, to be honest with you. So the year he got hurt in the playoffs. You talking about the 99-2000 season?
Yeah, and then he went to Orlando, and then
he got hurt in the playoffs
again. Yeah,
he got hurt in the playoffs. Scottie Pippen definitely is I think is one of those guys, but 98 Grant Hill, I think that was the best version of him before his injury.
My vote's Grant Hill. So Chill's got stock.
I've got
Grant Hill.
Slim.
Yeah.
Who you think for the forward spot? Who you got?
For forwards, I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, the guys that are popping in my head are Sean Kemp.
Karl Malone definitely is.
He can get the other forward spot, but
Malone is
definitely
the other forward. No doubt.
We're just gonna go ahead and lock Malone in.
He wasn't my vote. Just let the record show I never voted for him.
That's fine. You didn't have to.
No one's canceling you, bro. It's all right. We're just talking hoops.
Don't worry about it. I voted for him. Yes, I did. Yep, I'm voting for him. So the other forward, Mars, you said Grant Hill. I say Scottie Pippen.
I mean, I like Grant Hill a lot. I was trying to think of someone who had a better peak than Grant Hill, and I'm struggling to. I mean, is Dominique Wilkins going to get love?
Not over Grant Hill for me, but that's Cho's favorite player, so you could probably convince him.
Oh, okay.
But again, we're being objective here. We're not being subjective, right? Even though he's my favorite player, I'm thinking the best version of Dominique Wilkins was in the 80s. But in the 90s, I mean, 98 Grant Hill, I'm taking him over 92 Dominique Wilkins, who tore up his Achilles, even though he was damn good with the Clippers. I think he averaged almost 30 a game that year. He's the one guy to come back from that injury. Yeah, I think he's the one guy to come back from that injury and still perform like that. So I'll tell you what. I'll take Grant Hill here because I think I'm still gonna get Neek on the other side.
The chat voted for Pippen over Grant Hill.
Yeah, I'm seeing the Barkley comments too. When do him and Rodman enter the forward conversation?
I don't think Rodman's in the conversation.
I don't think he is.
Barkley,
Rodman's not going to make this.
I don't think Rodman.
I guess we're not building a team. You're right. We're not building a team. We're
talking about the top 10 players.
With that being said, Rodman does get an invite. So he does get put on the big board.
Is he in the conversation, Mars? Mars, is he in the conversation? Sorry, I just wanted you to have an aneurysm real quick. Yeah, no, I like that. I like Grant Hill and who else do we have on there?
We got Magic, Scotty. MJ, Karl Malone right now. The next spot that we have
you can put Scotty in, and then I think we'll get Grant Hill on the
other side.
Yeah.
Larry Johnson.
No,
I don't think he's better than those guys.
He was never a top 10 player.
I'm naming guys. I'm racking my brain right now.
Never was LJ.
We'll be on the center, so
yeah.
That's Olajuwon, and I don't think that's a question.
I'm cool with that being unanimous.
He definitely should have been the first one we put on this list.
I'm
on record. If Olajuwon's on the board and you pass on him, you fired. I'm on record saying that.
I'm more curious, and we can get to it eventually. But like, who gets that second center spot? Because there's a lot of after Olajuwon, what you got?
Ewing.
For me, it's easily David Robinson. But it might be some people might.
I mean, Patty Ewing. Though.
Some people might say Shaq. For me,
Shaq.
For me, it's David Robinson.
90 Shaq, though, but 90 Shaq was still a dog, dude.
We can, but hold on, no, we can put David Robinson as a forward on here.
No, we can't. No, we cannot. He played the 5. He did not play the 4.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you wanted to argue that next to Duncan, but no, he played the 5.
He played the 5. So let's not do that.
All right, well, I'm positive they're both going to make it, Shaq and David Robinson. I can't see in a roster of 11 where they don't. And it's a spot on there for both of them to make it. But we got at starting right now, we got Magic, Jordan, Pippen, Karl Malone, and Hakeem. I think that was pretty easy. Grant Hill definitely got some discussion in there. But this starting 5 was fairly easy for the most part. Now we got to figure out 2 guards.
I think the other guard is Stockton.
Penny Hardaway, Isaiah Thomas.
Ooh, Isaiah.
I'm taking both of them over Stockton. So
Isaiah had 2 great years.
We're just picking the best year.
We talking about his best year. So Isaiah's best years. Just so you know, Mars, after the 86 season, he never made the All-Pro team again. I want to put that on your mind.
What about Reggie?
There was only 2 All-NBA teams at that time.
I think it was 3. Yeah.
Reggie Miller?
Mm-hmm. Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller's in the conversation.
Clyde Drexler.
Yes. Yep.
Give me Clyde and Reggie, man. Give me Clyde and Reggie. Oh no, I need Penny. Give me Penny and Reggie.
I'm gonna take Stockton, and I'll take Drex at the guard spot.
So Clyde unanimous?
Yeah, I like Clyde.
Definitely Drex.
I think Reggie has to be on the team.
I think
we put him at the wild card spot.
No, wait. No.
I'm not going to contribute to your anti-Stockton agenda. I'm just saying
you can consider
on the squad.
What's the problem? Because essentially that's what he's doing, Slim. That's what he's trying to do.
I'm aware. I've been around at this point long enough to where I know that Mars is always he's got an agenda to push. I mean,
this is not
he's got the hood on.
We ain't even mentioned Gary Payton. What are we talking about right now?
Right.
We haven't mentioned Gary Payton.
Gary Payton's best season was that 96? Was that his best season? Gary Payton at his peak.
I wasn't alive.
The year he won the Defensive Player of the Year.
That's where they went the furthest. I wouldn't necessarily say it was his best season, but
I'd say late 90s Gary Payton might have been better, but like 98, 99.
I don't think this guy belongs on the list, but someone in the chat, Tay Luke just said, take 90s Ray Allen, bro. 90s Ray Allen was dead, which I don't think we should, but 90s like what was it? Supersonics and Jazz Ray Allen? Was it the Jazz?
The Bucks.
The Bucks. That's what it was. Oh my gosh, bro.
He was better with the Bucks than he was when he got to the Sonics stuff.
Yes.
I stand with the Bucks.
He was more athletic.
He was crazy. He did everything.
He was definitely more athletic. He was not a better player in Milwaukee than he was in Seattle. No way.
Talk about
I'm telling you, I watched Ray Allen night in and night out. Ray was good, but it was just
he looked a lot different than
that 0-1 Bucks team should have been in the finals, man. They should have been in the finals. People would view Ray Allen very differently. But
yeah, I mean, like I just think about, talking about players, I think we've talked about this before, being able to adjust your game to play with other people or just adjust your game as you get older. And I think like we've seen guys do it graceful and we've seen guys do it not gracefully, but Ray Allen, man, just to go from being like a jump shooter, but an all-around scorer and just like a not a playmaker in a sense of passing, but a guy that just makes plays, like to go from that to, top 2 shooter of all time is crazy. Like to just transition your game from being a do-it-all guy offensively to just, I'm just going to be absolutely lights out from 3. That's so impressive to me.
All right, y'all. We got to figure out 2 guards. And I got 5 guys, and you guys get 2 votes. Clyde, Stockton, Payton, Penny, Miller. You get 2 votes. Who are you going with?
Clyde and Penny.
All right, Mars got Clyde and Penny.
I'm going to go.
Chill. Or you got it.
Oh, sorry. No, Chill, you go first.
Drex and Stockton.
I'm a toss-up. I'm really kind of a toss-up between Stockton and Reggie, but I'm going to go, for the sake of parity, I'm going to go Clyde and Reggie.
Hold on. So Mars, you
No. Clyde and Reggie. Mm-hmm. So Mars, Clyde got all 3 votes. Me and Slim got Reggie, and then Chill.
You said Penny.
No. I said Reggie.
I thought.
Are you questioning my ex? Wow, crazy. Okay.
I couldn't understand you, bro. Sorry.
I got enunciate better. Clyde and Reggie. Is that better?
Yeah, that was way better.
There we go. Okay.
All right. Well, I happen to have Stockton and Penny.
Ooh.
So since when does Ron get a vote?
Right?
This man just added himself a vote.
Since this whole thing started.
You haven't voted on
anyone. The Emancipation Proclamation,
it's the
Mars.
First time we voted. It's 4 of us up here.
No, this is ridiculous, man. It's meant to be Clyde and Reggie. What are we
Hey, the chats agree with me. They're saying you said Penny, Mars.
The chat's haters anyway.
They're all saying he said Penny. He said Penny. I mean, you could change it now, but I knew I wasn't crazy.
So
I just needed to get who I needed to win.
It's looking like Clyde is going to be on here, and we have to decipher between Reggie and John Stockton.
Oh my God, there's just no way.
Is this going to ruin your day, Mars, if Stockton gets on this Google Sheets spreadsheet, bro?
No, I don't mind him making it as the wild card.
Yo, Mars, this is nasty. Reggie would never get on this team over Stockton.
Never. Reggie's better than John Stockton. Why would he not make the team?
No, he is not. No, he isn't.
Yes, he is.
He is not.
Yes, he is.
Stockton's a better distributor. And you, Mars, are the epitome. You, Mars, are the epitome of better at basketball. Reggie Miller is not
Reggie better at basketball. Yes, Reggie is.
No,
what does that mean? What does that mean? I gave Reggie my vote.
What it means, Slim. What it means, Slim, is the aesthetics. When you look at Reggie Miller and you look at John Stockton, who is better at playing the game of basketball?
Yes, Reggie Miller is better. Yes.
No way is he better than Stockton. No way.
There's no way.
I attain, being better at basketball to just being able to do multiple things for your team, and honestly, thinking about it now, Stockton fits that better than Reggie does. I'm just thinking surface level and Penny. Like John Stockton.
I tried to get Penny in there. You guys shot that down. So I had
to. Mars, you voted for Reggie. I'm the only one that voted for Penny with my fake votes.
But if you vote for Penny, then that means Reggie would have. No, well, okay. Never mind. So Reggie's winning the poll. Reggie's winning the poll.
No,
Reggie is winning the poll.
No way. If y'all go with Reggie,
Reggie is winning the poll.
You guys are haters if you go with Reggie.
No. Because Reggie won when we did it, and you added your little slimy vote. Wait, Reggie didn't have a vote, but you added it, and you tied up.
Have a vote. Now the chat is picking.
They've got Reggie. They've got Reggie. The chat has Reggie.
Someone said Ron Trump strikes again.
The chat has Reggie. I don't know what to tell you. The chat has Reggie. So yeah, you wanted to try and cheat, and the winner still won.
Honestly, Reggie doesn't get over any of the other guys. Reggie doesn't get over Penny. He doesn't get on over GP. He doesn't get on over Clyde, obviously, and he definitely doesn't get on over John. It's no way Reggie should be on this list.
Why did you do the poll wrong? Because you thought John Stockton was going to win, and you were like, "I want to see the chat." Ooh, the chat. But the chat didn't agree with you. So let's go put Reggie on because the chat spoke.
Well, I mean, Reggie. I had to.
The majority vote isn't always correct at the end of the day.
That's what we did. The vote of the panelists, and Ron didn't like the result, so he tried to tie it up and send it to the chat. Now the chat picked. They went with Reggie. So it's Reggie and Clyde.
I'm thinking about my decision now, and I'm regretting it, but I'm going to roll with it. But yeah, no, I think John.
Oh, you want to take Reggie's pick off?
I mean, look, at the end of the day.
March switched his from Penny to Miller. So I'm just saying, I got to be consistent.
This is ridiculous.
If you do want to change.
If I'm not going to do it for the sake of pissing off Mars, but, if I were to travel back in time 10 minutes, I'd probably say
do it.
This is ridiculous.
Reggie
Miller is clearly better than John Stockton.
We can also just put the other guy at the wild card at the end of the day.
Exactly. There's a wild card. Reggie Miller is better than John Stockton.
Long ball shooter. That's what he was. 100%. He was a long ball shooter.
But a better player, yeah.
But John Stockton was a better at basketball.
I disagree.
And my man in the chat, say Luke. Okay, sure. Kobe Bryant, 1990. Let's shout Kobe Bryant, 1999. Shout him out. Kobe Bryant in 1999. Shout him out. Let's not.
So we got Reggie Miller, right?
Kobe Bryant in 1999. We got
someone said
Kobe Bryant in 1999.
Someone said Dirk like 7 times. Like Dirk? ? Dirk. I'm like, well, he's drafted in 98.
You mean Dirk? Dirk? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so I was like, I didn't even mention it. So. Shout out to you giving love to Kobe. I didn't even mention Dirk, and that's my guy. It's my favorite player of all time.
Yeah.
1999 Kobe is better than John Stockton, but we got Reggie Miller in there, right?
Nah. Well, hold on. Possibly Slim. Are you? You know what? We're going to let Damo decide this.
Damo is our fifth vote. John Stockton or Reggie Miller.
Before you get
John Stockton or Reggie Miller. That's all I did. Damo, John Stockton or Reggie Miller. Welcome to the show, by the way. John Stockton or Reggie Miller.
You in the hot seat, Damo.
We're not building a roster. We're just talking about.
In what sense?
We're building a roster.
We're building a roster.
11 best players from the 90s.
Yeah, but we're not building.
Who would be on the list first?
It doesn't need to be a team. Like, there's no need.
It's not about roster.
Who I prefer?
Just the 10 best players.
Who would I prefer between John Stockton?
Okay.
And since my man Damo said that, Damo, I just want you to know I got a half an ounce for you. I gotta have an out for you.
Oh man, John Stockton every time.
Domo's vote.
John Stockton.
I gotta have an out.
So what do we do about the chat's vote? It just meant nothing. Just tell the chat they mean nothing. I'm fine. Just tell the chat they mean nothing.
Oh,
I got Reggie Miller on here, but this is nasty. This is nasty work.
It's terrible, bro.
Out of Mars, and I for the first time ever, I'm ashamed to be a part of a PC project.
Me? You're blaming me. The chat is 63-37. How are you gonna blame me for that? I voted one time. I was one vote. I didn't skew the percentage that much.
That's crazy.
Fair and square.
This is crazy work. And so right now we got Reggie and we got Clyde. We got to find 2 forwards, a center, and a wild card player to be on this 90s roster. With the forwards, what are we thinking coming off the bench? Who we rocking?
Grant Hill.
Yes. Grant Hill. And
probably Barkley.
Yes. And Barkley.
Probably.
Grant Hill, Barkley. No Rodman.
I was thinking Sean Kemp, but in the 90s. So from 1990 to 1999.
Kemp was primarily 90s, right?
Barkley was better than Chris Webber. He was better than Kevin Durant. I'm not Kevin Durant. Kevin Garnett. Forwards. Tim Duncan.
When did Tim Duncan 97?
Tim Duncan came in 97, yeah.
He came in 97. No, his best year.
He played 2.5 seasons.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm thinking the best version of Tim Duncan was like 2003. That was probably the best version.
Right,
I don't mind Duncan.
We can't put David Robinson.
No. No, we can't.
David Robinson could be our backup big, and then our wild card spot could be like Shaq or Tim Duncan or something.
No, I think Shaq is our wild card. I think Shaq is our backup big. And then you could go
over David Robinson?
Yes. I mean, Stockton
ain't beating these bigs. Let's be honest, he's not. Whichever big doesn't make it, Stockton's not beating him. So unfortunately,
I can't believe that Stockton is off this list. This is nuts right here, Mars.
Slim, you know what, Slim? I'm blaming you actually for that Rodman pick or for that Reggie Miller pick.
You see, I'm a man. If
you guys disrespect Reggie Miller,
if I did something and there was a cause and effect and I'm the cause, I'll take responsibility for the effect. So yeah, that one's
you guys are disrespecting Reggie Miller crazy.
No, we're not disrespecting Reggie Miller. I remember Reggie Miller averaging 30 a game in a series. I remember Reggie Miller. I remember Reggie Miller taking over series. I do remember Reggie Miller.
If you're amused by passing off pin downs, I mean, I guess. But...
It's not even just the passing. I was saying the defense between both of the players. I mean, even if you want to say John Stockton's an overrated defender, I mean, if you want to say he's overrated,
I think he's a good defender.
Compared to Reggie Miller, oh my God, he's a savant.
Yeah, and then scoring, Reggie Miller clears.
All right, well, we got to find this forward. So we got Grant Hill, we got Barkley. I'm hearing Tim Duncan. KG get any love?
Nah.
No.
Respect.
Not yet.
No Chris Webber?
Nah. It's between, but I think
Well, I think Barkley's a lock. Who is our other forward? Grant Hill?
I think you can make a strong case that
Chris Webber.
Tim Duncan in 98 and 99 is better than Charles Barkley ever was. I think you can make the case.
I disagree.
I don't think so, Mars. I don't think 98, 99 Duncan was better than 93 Barkley. Or 91.
When you factor in how much of a defensive liability Barkley was, I think you can make the argument.
Sure, you can on the defensive side of the basketball. Sure, there was that, but on the offensive side of the ball, I think that there's definitely a gap.
Is it?
I definitely think there was a gap with Duncan and.
I think there's a gap offensively. Yeah, I think there's a gap.
Yeah,
with one's a liability
Chambers, bro.
So Damo in transition, there's the gap. Okay. I think Duncan had a really good. I think he had a better mid-range game than Barkley. But I think where the separation came was in transition and Barkley's ability to handle the ball. I think he put a lot more pressure on the defense with him being able to do that.
I think Barkley was a better passer at that time too.
That's fair if we want to go there.
But I don't think 93 Barkley is the best Barkley. I think 90 Barkley is better.
Well, yeah, that's the one that came in second to Magic in the MVP vote, even though he got more first place votes. I'm gonna throw
Philadelphia Barkley was better than Phoenix Barkley, in my opinion. But either way,
I got 4 guys right here. And we all, as in each of us, Mars, have to pick 2 players.
Stockton is off this.
Okay.
I got Grant Hill, Charles Barkley, Tim Duncan, and for the sake of a 4th person, well, I'm gonna add 2 people. We got Chris Webber and Sean Kemp.
Dominique Love, he's not up there with these guys.
Dominique is a forward
for the 90s.
Yeah.
Nick best years was in his 80s. The best version of Nick. Yeah. The best version of Nick was probably 87. That was probably 87, 88. That was the best version of Nick.
I'll defer.
We might as well add Sharif Abdul-Rahim if we're just going to be adding.
No, we ain't doing that, Mars. No, we're not going to. We're going to keep the list. The list is simmering right now, Mars. We're not going to cook it. So let's chill out. Let's chill out, Mars.
We adding guys for no reason. Might as well add
that's why the list is still simmering.
It's between Barkley, Grant Hill, and Duncan. Sean Kemp and whoever the other person was just
damn.
Phillip.
Right. Chris Webber.
So
yeah, that's it. Chris Webber, my fault. Phillip picks. They ain't got a chance.
All right. I felt that way about Reggie Miller, and you never know. Somebody may just sneak on this list. You never know.
Yeah, but that's because you clearly just don't watch Reggie Miller.
But I mean, hey, if this 90s team was to get down 8 points with 2 minutes left, I guess we're throwing Reggie Miller in and telling him just to chuck away. They might make a comeback. But Slim, I'm gonna start with you. Who's the two guys that you want to give your votes to?
Say the names one more time, if you don't mind.
Grant Hill, Charles Barkley, Tim Duncan, Chris Webber, Sean Kemp.
I'll go Grant Hill and Barkley.
All right, Hill and Barkley. Mars, who you got?
Me too.
Hill and Barkley. Jill.
90 Charles Barkley, 98 Grant Hill.
Had to flex. Just had
Seems
to.
like you guys' votes are irrelevant.
Damo?
Larry Johnson, Byron Russell.
Ryan Russell.
No Tom Chambers?
I'm sorry?
I figured the troll pick was Tom Chambers, the white
Ryan
man.
Russell, number one. Number two, Damo. The list
was
is
60 or 50 he had that one time. Tom Chambers.
Well, no, I thought I want you to call it
60.
I figured it was almost a clean sweep. Couldn't let it be a clean sweep, man. Had to throw some names out there, man. Big grandmama.
I just know that clip of Tom Chambers dunking on a dude and like literally put his
Tom
knee
Chambers
in
had
somebody's
60.
chest.
There's no way I just made that up.
That was Mark Jackson, as a matter of fact. That he did that.
Wait, what's his name? Not Byron Russell? Is that not who I was thinking?
Yeah, Tom Chambers did have 60. I knew I went by
Brian Russell?
Wait,
his name is Brian Russell?
Yeah, Brian. Yes, Brian.
It's not Byron. It's Brian Russell.
It's not Byron Scott. It's Brian Russell.
Focus, Damo.
It is Byron Russell. Oh, my God.
It's Brian Russell. That's his name.
Bryon.
Yes, it's Brian Russell.
All right. Yo, we got to figure out a center and a wild card spot.
David
center,
Robinson.
This looks like it's between Shaq and David Robinson, but we're gonna have to do a tiebreaker. So you guys let me know.
Win is going to be the wild card.
I'm assuming so, Mars, but you never know.
Okay.
Because this team lacks some diversity. You know, Slim.
If you want to say I ruined the list by putting Reggie over Stockton, and then you go ahead and put John Stockton over David Robinson, then that's on you.
Man, I feel so unrepresented by this list. I'm not gonna lie.
You got Jokic and Luka.
Hey, they're foreign, bro. I'm an American white man. I'm just kidding. We could put David Robinson. That's my pick. If I had a choice for the wild card, I'm putting.
Well, hold up right quick. Let's figure out the center first.
Yeah, go ahead. It's not Vlade Divac or Rick Smits. I wasn't serious. If we're trying to put a white guy.
I think it's only two serious choices.
Respect Ewing.
We can put Ewing on here, I guess.
If you're gonna put Chris Webber and Sean Kemp, might as well.
All right, so we got three guys. We got Shaq, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing. Slim, I'm gonna start with you. Who are you choosing to start to be the backup center?
Give me the Admiral. In the 90s, yeah, I'm taking the Admiral. I mean, Shaq was a version of himself, but he was not fully himself yet in the 90s.
Yeah, he was a solid player, but just not great yet.
He was great, but he wasn't David Robinson.
Damo?
Yeah, I'm taking Shaq.
All right. Chill.
The Diesel.
Mars.
Shaq.
Crazy.
Because David Robinson better be that wild card spot.
I'm about to say, whoever doesn't get picked,
that's what I'm saying.
It's the agenda. He's always got an agenda, man. He voted
now at the wild card spot. Go ahead and put David Robinson.
Anti-Stockton agenda. I can't believe this.
Who's better, David Robinson or John Stockton?
Absolutely devious work.
David Robinson's better than John Stockton, respectfully.
All right, y'all. So for the wild card spot, I got to go with everybody that's got votes up to this point. That would mean Penny, Byron Russell, Tom Chambers,
Rick Smith's vote.
Rick Smith's, yep. But nah, seriously though, for the wild card spot, we got Robinson, Stockton.
It's basically Robinson versus John Stockton. Penny's not going to win. It's going to be Robinson versus John Stockton.
Anybody else that you guys think could possibly complete this roster?
Get Reggie Miller off this list, yo. This shit is making me crazy.
Reggie Miller's better than Clyde Drexler.
Get Reggie Miller off.
I don't know why we kind of get rid of Reggie. Man.
Oh my god.
Mars, I hope you.
I still think Ewing deserves. I still think Ewing.
You ruined Chill's day. I hope you're happy.
Because Reggie Miller better than John Stockton.
No, because you did. I got
something for you when we get over the playback.
What did I do? What did I do with Shaq? I got Shaq on the list. Shaq deserved to be on the list.
Don't worry.
So devious.
Someone said in the chat, Tim Duncan can be a possible.
Duncan, definitely. All right,
my vote's Stockton. I'm just out of spite. I'm doing it.
Here's what we got. We got David Robinson, John Stockton, Patrick Ewing, Tim Duncan. Need a vote from everybody. Mars, you will be going first.
David Robinson.
David Robinson, okay.
Yes.
Chilltown.
Stockton.
But yeah, I've ruined the list, right? I've ruined the list. Okay. We're going to leave David Robinson.
See what you did, Mars?
No, it's fine.
You got Reggie Miller on here, Mars.
It's fine. That's what you got
on here. Reggie Miller on
you could have had David Robinson on the list.
Reggie Miller over John Stockton or John Stockton over David Robinson?
You know what's worse? Reggie Miller over John Stockton. That's worse.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's worse.
Reggie Miller over John Stockton isn't close to worse than John Stockton.
And we wouldn't have gotten here if you would have just put Stockton on the crew.
No, because I genuinely believe Reggie Miller is better than John Stockton. You don't believe John Stockton is better than David Robinson. So you are just lying out of spite. I'm being true to myself. That's the difference.
Well, all right, come on.
You are actively lying to get John Stockton on the list. I'm being honest, saying I think Reggie Miller was better than him. That's the difference.
And the difference is that you've done that in the past. So I'm giving it back to you now, you son of a...
That's fine. That's fine. But don't try and act like I made the list bad when you are about to put John Stockton over David Robinson.
You put Stockton. You put Reggie Miller over Stockton.
Yeah, but I actually believe that.
Y'all like a...
That doesn't mean it's right.
Yo.
I could be wrong, but at least I'm going
with what
wrong.
I believe. Just like I'm wrong. Just like I'm wrong with David Robinson.
Mom, Dad, stop fighting.
David Robinson is a top 20 player of all time. You're going to leave him off for John Stockton.
Chill and Mars.
No, just...
Chill and Mars. We got to keep it pushing. We got one vote for Stockton, one vote for David Robinson. Damo, it's on you. Who are you voting for?
I want no business with this, so I'm going John Starks. I want nothing to do with this rivalry.
All right.
I want nothing to do with this rivalry.
Vote right.
All right, Dabo, are you sure? Going once?
Yes, that's my final vote.
John Stockton, and then John Stockton's going to win, and I'm going to say you guys ruined the list. That's what's going to happen.
Just like you did when you picked Reggie Miller over Stockton. You
Slim.
The list.
Who are you choosing?
Because you were wrong.
Give me Stockton.
Slim is choosing Stockton.
All
right. Just for shits and giggles, and I really do believe
Ron. Don't.
He does.
No, you had no problem with Ron having a vote before, so he has to vote now.
He deserves.
You didn't either. What are you? You also the same one, Mars. Ron, what are you doing voting? Now all of a sudden
and I was by myself on that train of Ron.
No, you were not.
So now don't switch.
No, you were not, because I was with you when Ron originally voted. I was like, wait a minute, Ron, what are you doing?
Mars, you have convinced me that it should be David Robinson. So I'm going with David Robinson. We're going to have to go to the illustrious chat to break this tie.
Okay, chat.
It's the same chat.
If you think John Stockton's better than David Robinson, vote that way. But let's be honest, chat.
Ron, I think I know a better tiebreaker. If you can get a hold of him. Ask Dion, man. Dion should be the tiebreaker.
The tiebreaker. This is terrible, yo. It's
terrible that David Robinson is in the tiebreaker of John Stockton. I agree. Terrible.
Like the fact that I'm good. I'm straight.
I love it, honestly. I love the drama.
Reggie Miller's better than John Stockton. I don't get how that's crazy.
He is not. No,
I just isn't. I disagree.
Fellas, while we waiting for this poll to come through, I got some super chats. So let's go ahead and dive into them. The first one is from The Take Gaming. He said, y'all wilding with AD over Dame. Dame was a better number one, consistently finished higher in MVP voting, has more first-team All-NBAs, bubble MVP. That is a fact. definitely bubble MVP. What am I missing?
Okay, first of all, I think Anthony Davis
Bubble
made
MVP?
first team. I think Anthony Davis made first team all. Anthony Davis made first team all pro one time. These are how many times. These are how many times Damian Lillard made first team all pro. That was in the 17-18 season. He didn't make first team all pro during that. I don't think he made first team all pro more than once. That was it.
I don't get how you would think Dame is better than AD.
Yeah, I really don't understand. Like, I think Dame is a great player, and I think he like
AD has 4 All NBA first teams.
4.
Dame has 1.
Yes, 1, and that was the 17-18 season.
What the hell?
First team all pro.
He was on the first team with Anthony Davis.
Right, in 18. What other year did
beat the Blazers in the playoffs that year?
No, they didn't beat the Mavs. They swept them. Let's be clear, okay? They did not beat them. They swept them out of the playoffs. Mopped them right up the playoffs.
This man made 4. He's made 4 All NBA.
2018 All NBA Dame.
Yeah, so
that's it.
He just
First
lied
team,
for no
that's
reason.
it.
I mean, every
time AD's made the All NBA team, he was first team. He's never made the second team.
Outside of defense, clearly, and outside of Dame just being Bay Area Kimba, I would say also, on top of why he's not better than AD, and you can call it petty if you want, only one of these guys is an actual member of the top 75 list. The other guy is an honorable mention. They got put in because Kyrie was Kyrie. So that would be my reasoning why I'm putting
what the hell is happening right now?
Kyrie was Kyrie.
Yo, we got to keep pushing. We got
run. Address the poll. The poll.
We got to keep the poll is still running. The poll is still running. We're gonna let that run for a bit. We're going to keep it running for a very long time. Daniel Prosale said, sup, Chilltown. Off topic, but do you still believe the 49ers, after the moves my Eagles made this offseason so far? And keep it up with the show. Appreciate you, Daniel.
You added Saquon Barkley, who the Giants got his best years. So let's be clear about that. The Giants got his best years, but we didn't really lose much. And we came to Philadelphia and we smoked y'all about 4 touchdowns. So I'm straight on Philadelphia.
Respect Saquon Barkley, man.
Mm-hmm.
I know who he is, so that means he must be a good player.
Saquon behind that offensive line?
He's gonna be serious. Yes, he's gonna be serious.
Mm-hmm. Didn't Travis Kelce's brother retire?
Yep. Yes,
he was on the team, right? He was a big part of that.
Best offensive lineman in the game.
See, they just lost that. That's a big deal, man. I don't know how they.
Hey, offensive line is a unit. See,
I don't know if I'm making sense.
American football, real football, it's a team sport. It's about pieces, bro. It's not about having a good player, especially O-line.
Reggie Red said 38-year-old John Stockton gave Gilbert Arenas 26. Hashtag never.
Hey, Gil wasn't playing defense, bro. He was trying to get his.
I don't think Gilbert Arenas has ever played defense a day in his life.
I love Gil. Right? Gil's one of my favorite players of all time simply because he was just a freaking nut. Like, he was just a goof. I love him so much. Also, 10,000. What did he make? 10,000 makes in a summer, which is insane. Y'all ever heard that story?
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's nuts. Absolutely nuts.
No time off. Baca said wild cards should be AI.
We should have done a 2000s roster
in the 90s.
No,
Allen Iverson? No,
he's
Allen
confused.
Iverson was nice in the 90s. 99. Allen Iverson was cold.
Not top.
And he's definitely getting invited to the training camp.
He's over John Stockton, but
everybody.
Speaking of which,
no, everybody. I didn't say Mark Price is. Mark Price is not. But
SMN RNDM said Penny Hardaway.
Someone runs it. That's his name.
Is up. SMN RNDM said
Penny. What is it again? What is it, Mars?
Someone runs him.
Yes.
Penny Hardaway over Stockton, who's also over Reggie Miller.
Damo. I was thinking the same thing, Damo. Like, how the hell you know that?
Oh, it's
just no vowels.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to read. I agree. Penny Hardaway should have made the list, but he wasn't getting the vote, so I had to get it done correctly. I don't know.
No time off. Baca also said Ricky Tim over Malone.
I agree.
Then no time off. Baca proceeded to say, who led their team further as the number one option, Russ or Dame? Question mark. Y'all really riding for a stat pattern who got up here, who got a here you go MVP? Damn.
What?
They're calling Russ as the here you go MVP now?
And he's saying like, hey, Dame won a playoff series. Like, Dame never went to a conference finals, right?
No, 2019.
Yeah,
2019. Okay.
Just one no game.
Was that the
Thunder? Hey, and let me tell you
that they beat the Thunder, so they beat Russell Westbrook, and then the next round they beat the Nuggets in Game 7.
Thanks to CJ.
And then they got swept.
They don't get there. They don't get to Game 7 without Dame. Oh, yeah, 40 in Game 6.
But as respectfully as possible, Russell Westbrook plays better in the playoffs than Damian Lillard.
And that's crazy.
Statistically, yes. Yes, he does.
That's crazy.
I don't even know Russ's stats. I just know he.
I'm not saying people call Russ a dropper in the playoff. That was like
let me look at let me see what the stats even say. I don't know what the stats say, but I just know Russ plays better than him.
We gotta conclude
I know we got to keep going.
The poll is over. David Robinson gets the final wild card spot. So tomorrow,
get Reggie Miller off the list. Get Reggie Miller off this list.
We will get down to the bottom of both of these rosters versus each other.
Reggie Miller.
Y'all pull up tomorrow so we can do that. You know, my man Slim's gonna be back tomorrow. Swiper's gonna be here. Ox should be here, and you know all of that good stuff. But we will get down to the bottom of who has the better era stars.
Get Reggie Miller off the list.
I didn't know True was such a Reggie Miller here.
I'm not a Reggie Miller hater. He just ain't better than Stockton. That's all.
In the meantime, y'all, we are heading over to playback right now to get down to the bottom of whether we're officially done with the 90s. So y'all go ahead and jump on playback right now, and we will see you guys in a second.
Peace.
Merry Christmas.